Good morning, as I drink my coffee. Welcome back to Variant Rules Dungeon of the Mad Mage, level 16, the Crystal Labyrinth. Although, frankly, I would like to um, honorary rename this to Dungeon of the Mad Mage Stardock, because
Epic
that's
space
where we're
battle.
spending our time. Last week we had a big crazy kerfuffle of things, but I'm not gonna tell you too much about it because I'm gonna have my players tell you about it. I'd like everybody to roll a d20.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Fun.
Yay. Hopefully it's not the lowest roll because I'm on a one streak.
Got a 15.
I got an 11.
I have a 17.
I've got a 12.
All right, so I'm gonna roll my d20 and see who's closest. That is a 15.
Cool.
All right, so Zach, a lovely player of Atrian. What happened last session?
We done goofed.
And if you want, you can do this through the perspective of your character. It's okay to miss things.
Okay. Let's see. We started on the 15th level of Undermountain, and we're discussing what to do. We talked to a squirrel who led us down into some crystal stuff. There were Githyanki corpses in a bunch of crystal stalactites and a bunch of other corpses that were just on the ground. We then ate breakfast, which totally wasn't creepy. We teleported to outer space.
Yep.
And saw a dog fight between a spaceship and a dragon.
Orbiting a meteor.
Right. And then we landed on this meteor. We went in, we found out about these Githyanki problems. We found out that the squirrel belonged to a mind flayer who was being held captive by the Githyanki. His name was Marquox. And we tried to instigate a coup and fought a dragon, of which there are 7. Killed one and the Githyanki leader, but not before she signaled the big mama dragon. And she's coming, which is totally fine. We got this.
Allah, she coming.
Yep. That's pretty good. So a couple of details. The Githyanki coup was led by Erlon to kill Alchaya, who our intrepid band of heroes murdered violently in her room with her little dragon companion. And Alchaya was holding sway, although unpopular, was holding sway over most of the Githyanki through rank and through her magical books that she was holding over everyone to by promising that she would give them away to her highest ranking, best performing officer, and just kept her doing that endlessly. But people really want those stat books. We ended the last session with a nice rumble and roar after this message had been sent, and of course with Fives, who was a whisper bard, absorbing the shadow of Alchaya. So we begin in Alchaya's room. There are stuffed beholder heads, and you were told that there is a secret trapdoor to where the books are held. Also, there's a dragon incoming, and I believe somebody had a healing spirit still up. So, what would you like?
That would be me. Yeah, that's up.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
Guys, let's conga line into the healing spirit, I
Yeah, I was
guess.
going to say I'd like to go through the healing spirit.
I am all right.
So-
I will keep watch at the door.
So effectively, you have 8 heals left to hand out, I believe, because I think you used 2 last time.
And while we're doing this,
Like to
I'm
hand
gonna
them 2.
I'm gonna use the my free false life to get me back up to 8 temps, if you don't mind.
Sure. Go
So
right ahead.
Fives is immediately going to start prodding and poking around the room, disregarding for now the dragon because he is looking for anything hidden, specifically the books.
All right.
All right.
Make
Who's sorry.
while you're figuring out healing, could you give me an investigation check?
Yes. So 19 on the dice plus 10 for 29.
That's good. And healing math.
So who you said you wanted how many? Who wants how many heals?
How much does it heal?
Oh, so I've got. How about this? Who's first? Just tell me when.
Basically, she's got
I'll take the first heal.
8d6 to hand out.
Yeah, essentially that. And I have some more healing stuff I can do too.
I'd take 3 of them, I guess.
All right, starting with you. You get 1 hit point, 6 hit points, 4 hit points.
Okay.
As
Okay.
you
All right.
walk through the spirit and feel your wounds reknit themselves.
Yep,
I'm fine. I'm full.
If I could have heals as well.
2
I'd
hit
appreciate some healing.
points for you, Fives.
Okay.
4 hit points, 6 hit points.
And I think that'd do me.
And you got
Any-
2 more.
Anybody else?
Do you need any?
I am okay.
Well, I'll take what's left then,
Thankfully.
'cause I'm still not at full.
All right, okay. Jor, do you need anything?
I
You
feel
good?
tip top.
Good. All right. Oh, 6. And then the last one, 3.
And that gets me up to full. Thank you very much, Zera. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome. And now that that's done, because that was concentration, I'm going to cast Enhance Ability Charisma on you, Fives, because I think we're going to need that.
All
Oh,
right.
my
And
dear, I appreciate it, but I assure you, most of the time I do not need it. All the same,
Yeah, but, you know, this is a dragon.
you
like a-
feel the Stardock rumble.
Yeah. We're
Does
going
anyone
to
speak
need it.
Draconic?
no.
Oh, no, you don't speak Draconic?
Jor does.
Atrian also
Uh,
does.
Yes,
However,
but you have to talk to the
Bill-
dragon.
the Shadow Stealing ability gives you the information required to pass yourself off as them. I feel like if you couldn't speak their language, that you wouldn't be able to pass yourself off of them. So
Mhm. But I'm not activating it yet. I'm holding it in
Yes.
reserve just now.
Beautiful.
right. So yeah, you hear a rumbling no rumble throughout the Stardock. And Fives, you did a very good investigation check. You noticed 2 things.
Hmm.
First of all, you notice that Alchaya's plate armor is set with a number of very valuable gems. Looking about worth like 3,500 gold in gems that are just set onto it on top of being plate armor. It's very pretty.
Okay.
Secondly, you notice that there's some scrapes on the ground. Looks like her bed slab made of stone has been moved.
So I'm going to toss my bag of holding onto the floor next to Alchaya's body and say,
Yeah.
when you once, just stuff that armor in there for later and head over to the bed. Slab thing.
Sure. Does anybody stuff Alchaya and or her armor into the bag?
Actually, get rid of the body.
Yeah, all of it. All of it should go into the bag. We need to get rid of the body.
It'll be
Right,
faster that way too.
Jord and Atrian just kind of hoist and Alchaya entirely into the bag.
I'll add it to my list of inventory.
Oh.
One dead.
Almost forgot. Also, her sword is a beautiful silvered metal, and it radiates magical power.
Ooh. Will you need that to complete the illusion, Fives?
I think my illusion should present myself as her in equipment as well, but I would not say no to having it just in case.
Okay, we will keep that out of the bag.
Wonderful. And I'm going to
Wunderbar.
start following around the bed slab.
The bed slab is easier to move than it looks, and you grind it to the side. And beneath is a stone trap door set into the ground. another thunders down as the dragon sounds much closer. It seems somewhat overhead.
Okay, I'm going to give myself 10 seconds and all of you hide. And I'm going to check. I'm just going to take my thieves' tools and try and open it.
Okay. It doesn't seem particularly locked. You flip it open, and inside is a beautiful black and gold trimmed chest. It is on the ground, and then it actually opens up into a somewhat larger space. You could fit up like maybe half a dozen people in here, and there's another trapdoor on the ground there that goes even deeper.
Is
Okay.
this so? Could we hide in here?
So
I think so.
Maybe we
As-
should do that.
as Five stands up, you see between one heartbeat and the next, his shadow seems to writhe up around him. And as he fully stands up, you see the form of Alchaya standing before you. It's almost like in a blink of an eye, he's vanished.
I have
Yes,
to tell you, friend, that is very creepy.
yes, people have told me that in the past. That said, please get in.
Very
Good
well.
luck. Have fun.
This will be my greatest challenge yet. I can't wait to see how I do. Oh, in.
All right. All right. So you everyone get bloop bloops down. You close the trapdoor on them, presumably.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a way to do it so it doesn't slam shut entirely? But still have it
Sure.
Just put a scrap of clothing right in the latch. Just
Yeah.
tear up a
Just-
scrap of cloth and just.
Yeah. Just take a something.
Okay.
All right. So as you are kind of there waiting, there's a pause, and you hear a loud, colossal sniff, sniff. And then in the ceiling above you, there's a ripple of magic as the stone ceiling parts open as what you might recognize as a pass wall spell.
As soon,
Up above through the
as
face,
soon as
you see the face of the red dragon looking down at you.
as soon as I've heard that sniffing, Fives is shifting his posture to assume a damaged position. He's hunched over, breathing heavily, purposely presenting this image of he's near death, or rather, Alchaya is near death.
All right.
He's not touched the bodies around him, though, including, was it Zolcharks?
Zolcharks was the one that you killed.
Everything, all that is left, he's over the body of Zolcharks, next to it, panting heavily. Or Alchaya is.
So this ancient red dragon's neck snakes down through this opening it's created, and its head comes down kind of like Prisoner Zero in Doctor Who from the ceiling. It looks around and it starts to address you in Draconic, but just stops dead when it sees the body of Zolcharks on the ground. And there is a flicker of rage in her eyes, and flame flutters off of her nostrils. And she invokes a spell out of her mouth, and in a wavering mist, she teleports into the room.
I've still not said anything, still panting quite heavily.
She
Just
turns around, looking around, and draws a large claw across the wall with the Mind Flayer head and just rends open part of the stone, smashes her big claw down, kind of over the trapdoor actually, but seems more coincidental. Says, "Where are they?" in Draconic.
and
So, question for the DM. Can
Yes.
Jord and Atreyan hear her?
Yes.
So we are still technically connected by the telepathic bond.
Yes.
So we can relay to him what she just said.
Well, also, I was saying because his ability gives him the necessary knowledge to portray the character believably, I think that includes their language.
Okay.
Well, at least Wall's.
Perfect.
Okay.
to try to pass themselves off.
So, in this knowledge I have gained, do I know if Alchaya does talk in Draconic, or does she address in Common, or
You would know that Alchaya speaks Draconic to the dragons, particularly Ashtaranthor, because she's terrifying.
okay? So, as soon as Astranthor says that, they will pay. They will pay with every drop of blood within their bodies. Whatever bastard decided to let assassins upon me, upon your child, I swear to you, they will pay.
Where'd they go?
They fled. They slew your child. As soon as they had Zolchark's dead, they fled. I believe they're aiding the saboteurs, the dissidents within my people. They're
Her
hidden
eyes,
from my people.
she gets really close to you and squints a little bit and sniffs. I'd like you to make a deception check.
Okay.
You have advantage.
I have
You
it-
do.
So here's the thing. I have advantage. I also have +5 because I'm using my whisper, the mantle
Yeah.
whispers.
So if I'm not mistaken, that ability gives you +5 to portray yourself as that person,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
All right.
And it's against their insight to see through me.
Yes.
So advantage +5. Let's hope that's enough.
Please, 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 please.
So I have a +20 total to do this roll.
That's pretty good.
Seems pretty good.
And I rolled a 19, so that is 39.
Oh my god!
What can I say? 5 thorns of the blossom is perfect.
Oh man!
Sniffs
So-
and squints at you. You see the rage flow into her eyes. In fact, her big, draconic eyes that are almost wells. They're so big. You see a little flicker of sparks and anger literally flow through them. And she turns around and breathes her enormous dragon breath down through the hallway, through the door you came in, which you hear the anguished cries of pain of some Githyanki who just happened to be nearby, caught as this dragon fire comes out.
And some dogs.
Yeah,
And some
sorry.
dogs, apparently. And she said, "They shall not survive this day." And she rips open the doorway and just begins smashing her way through the meteor.
So before she goes,
Yeah.
do I have the chance to say something before she goes
Sure.
to her?
She may or may not be listening too attentively to you.
It's just so again, going back to the memories and knowledge I've gained,
Yeah.
does Alchaya address Ashtaranthor by name, or because she
Sometimes.
said, was it by title? So it can be by
Uh,
name.
Probably by name.
Okay, so Ashtaranthor, you will get your revenge. Of that, I swear to you. But we cannot let rage dictate our actions. We must wait. Listen, if you choose to ignore me, you have more than right to do so. I want them dead myself. But we cannot forget the mind flayer scum that are there. We cannot ignore the threat that is at our doorsteps and at our backs. Let our enemies enjoy their last few moments. Let them think themselves victorious, that they have bested us. And when their guard is down, let them be reduced to ash and their embers scattered into space.
Make me a persuasion check.
With advantage still?
Yep,
Yeah,
still
that's an
advantage.
hour.
Persuasion.
Just persuade the ancient red dragon, buddy.
Okay, the dice are going to betray me later. That's another 19 for 29.
All right.
The dice are going to betray me later.
But you'll die in a blaze of glory.
All right. So I have to now decide, because this is an angry dragon mama whose kid just died.
Yeah, what is the DC?
That's gotta be high, right? Is it nearly impossible? Because that's 30. I don't think it's nearly impossible.
It-
So,
If it helps your decision,
Okay.
Fives is presenting this as a tactical revenge. He's not saying don't
Yeah.
get your revenge. He's saying
yeah,
let them relish it and make it all the better when we tear them down. But we
Alright,
cannot
yeah.
forget that we might die if we take our eyes off the enemy.
I feel that. Which is why I don't think it's the full 30. I think it's a little lower, which means you got it. As she just rends open the doorway and is begin stomping away off, and then she pauses. And she forms into her draconic form puffs into a cloud that reforms facing you. She looks at you in the face and says, "I will not wait long.
I am not asking
Your
you to
lit-
wait long. I want
your
them dead
little
as well.
Your war with the Illithids I'm finding very inconvenient right now, and these need to die. Zulcharx is dead, one of my brood."
I know that well. She is dead. I am near dead. My gods are dead, and one of my fucking people did this.
Who?
I feel your rage. I don't know if I had to guess. If I had to guess, there have been whispers. Hold your rage, and we shall slay Erlon together.
I'll wait
Oh,
3 hours.
That
After
is
that,
all I ask.
my revenge cannot wait to be sated.
Oh, trust me, I'll be right alongside you.
And she disappears in a shimmery mist and teleports up above. You can see the pass wall, and as it's closing, you see her slam down on Stardock, and the entire meteor just shifts a little bit as she's got to get her venting her rage out somewhere. Just smashing into the meteor as hard as she can.
So Fives is just going to be silent for a moment,
Yeah.
and then, well, I think that went well. Okay, I think I'm going to go sit in the corner. You lot can come up now. And he's just going
You
to
look
sit in the
around
corner.
in the room, like the room has gained a good 10 feet of real estate because of this gashes she smashed through the walls. The illithid heads are in tatters, and actually, can you give me a perception check or investigation? Either one works, really.
Let's see what's highest. Perception is plus 12. Investigation. I'll do perception.
Yeah.
So that is a 26.
You notice that one of the illithid heads that got rented open, a key fell out of its mouth. Kind of ding ding, a gold and black key. Seems it was
Okay,
hidden.
Fives' tabaxi instincts, after being near death, suddenly flare up and he goes, "Mine," and grabs it.
Just about as
it's a shiny.
probably one of you pops your head out to see, the carnage. You see Fives nab a shiny key.
Well, technically, they see our Chaya nab a shiny key.
Oh, that's fair. this Githyanki is suddenly acting very cat-like.
There's a faint sound of purring in the air.
Yeah.
Well, that certainly could have gone worse.
It could have. It didn't, because I'm me.
Very well. So
No.
now what do we do?
Now, I want to see what is in that chest. And I have this. And he holds up the key. And
Do you
then
think
we
it's
go
like a
on
portal to another dimension?
I don't. I think it's something shiny or interesting. So I want.
Well, it's probably the books, no?
That would make sense, I guess, if you thought about it.
It does
Oh,
make
we
sense.
were not supposed to be thinking. I did not know this.
Ah, it's not my strong suit.
So can someone pass up that chest, please? If you'd be so
course.
kind.
Pull out.
I am also not very strong, so maybe
Yeah, technically, I'm not either.
hey, Atrian, in that shiny armor of yours, you wanna?
Oh, yes.
So
look very
when you
strong and burly and capable. Yeah.
Been known to be all those things.
as you go to lift it up, you find that the chest is actually adhered to the ground.
It's stuck.
Is it a bit too tough for you, strong man?
No, like I think it's stuck to the ground.
Okay. If you three would be so kind as to get out, please. There was another trap door down there. I want to make sure they're not trapped before we touch anything else. Now that the adrenaline is gone, my sanity is returning. So
This is a good plan. I will watch the door in case someone comes to check on the commotion.
much
I
You're gonna
appreciated.
go
will
down.
as well.
You can go down into the hole
Mhm.
to open the chest / look at the trapdoor.
Yeah, I'm checking just for any traps now, just
Okay,
before I
thank
do anything, just in case.
Make me an investigation or perception check. You two, either one.
So that's a natural 20. I'm going to get 5 natural ones in a row later.
It's gonna happen.
So
Wow,
the chest
wow.
has a little trick trap in that if you open up the chest without holding this tiny little depressant button
Mhm.
on its side, it'll release a paralysis gas into the little chamber down there.
Okay.
But you figure that out, so you can do that. The trap door doesn't seem to be trapped, but you do hear some murmurs in Gith through it at the commotion and murmurs of concern.
1 moment, let me check my spells. I think I have. Let me read this. As I'm listening, I'll cast Comprehend Languages.
Sure.
Oh, wait.
Does,
Oh, I'm still in Alchaya's
Yeah.
form. Would I?
but so this isn't needed to patch yourself off. So it's really like, do I need this
Okay.
information right now to be this character?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll cast Comprehend Languages then.
So you cast Comprehend Language and you hear a couple Gith speaking in Gith. Like what? Ashtaranthor sounds angry. What happened? Another one kind of responds like, I don't really want to find out. That's way beyond my pay grade.
Okay.
There's a couple
I'll leave
people
the
just like,
I'll leave the trapdoor be then, and I'll go and open that chest.
okay, you press the little button, put the key in, open it up. Inside are 2 beautiful leather-bound books gilded in gold as a trim, as well as 900 gold pieces and another Stardock rod.
Hmm.
And the black rods that let you open the doors and teleport.
Okay. And the 2 books. So I'll place them up out of the hole one after another, and then heave myself out.
The 2 books are a manual of gainful exercise and a tome of leadership and influence.
Not shabby.
So I'll turn to the group and say, do you mind if this goes in the bag of holding as well? There's no point us lugging all this around on our persons.
I agree.
Makes sense.
I didn't want anyone to think I was cheating them out of their share. That is all. And put into the bag of holding. I have an hour on this form. My intent
Yeah.
is, just to declare it, is to hold this form for as long as possible until I need to drop it for some reason.
Yeah.
Just so it's not me constantly repeating it as Alchaya. It's just for this hour he's holding the form. Which is probably a bit disconcerting because it's Fives' voice and mannerisms now from Alchaya.
Right.
Just a little.
That's yeah. So while you're opening that chest and finding these tomes and stuff, so correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't we supposed to sort of have you pass power over peacefully to this other character which you've now implicated to the red dragon it's supposed to become allied with?
Well, we have 3 hours to do our things. and get the hell out of here. And then the red dragon will attack him. There's also the idea that, I don't know, Alchaya might have talked to Astranthor about any misgivings she had, so hopefully I can pass that off. As we well know, I'm an accomplished liar. And the honest thing is, I don't really like that guy. I'm not really invested in this. And I've heard rumors of the Githyanki, and I've heard things.
The Githyanki are a terrible evil.
Okay, hey, there's no one in this room who has more reason to hate the Githyanki than me because, blood wars, bullshit, all that. However, aside from the Githzerai, the Githyanki are the largest force and most capable force fighting mind flayers and their kind across all dimensions. So, while they have their negative qualities, you might say, their quirks, their complications, they do a lot of overall good across the planes. You would do well to remember that in all of this. Causing a civil war so that they all fight each other and cause chaos amongst themselves means that they can't do what they need to do against the mind flayers. I don't know a lot about politics and skullduggery and all the plotting. I'm not good at that. But what I can tell you is we need them in this fight. And we need them intact and unified.
That is all good points, I will admit, but I will say this is just one unit of them, and I did only point Astaranthor towards Erlon himself, not the masses as a whole.
Yeah, did you notice? Maybe you didn't, but I sure did. How many of those people, how many of the Githyanki seem to follow Erlon over Alchaya? Alchaya is fighting a losing battle, and she only is fighting it, or she was. You are fighting it because of the dragon bond and of those tomes, that stuff. That's all. She doesn't have the unified support of the people behind her. Now you don't.
But as
Elrond does. I'm saying Elrond again. Sorry. I'm not good with names.
But as Fives has said, this is just one base. Would you rather have the dragon peace with Ulan and us dead, or us alive and perhaps Ulan being murdered? If there is one among them, then someone else can rise up.
Well, leadership is a funny thing, and not everybody has what it takes. And leadership in this particular group of individuals is going to be important. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's not going to matter.
Erlon alive might be the best bet to get rid of these mind flayers in this area.
It's not going to matter if we don't survive for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, that's fair, but this fight is bigger than any of us.
And I won't speak against what you said, Zera. You do raise good points. But I do think at the same time, Athril has a point as well. Let us focus on our initial goal and objective with our deal with Marquax. And, I've always dealt with life as it comes, and we shall see. I'm not exactly eager to fight the Red Dragon. I mean, why the hell not?
I'm a little eager to fight the Red Dragon.
Look, the Red Dragon is a useful ally against the Illithid. What are you not getting here?
But I could ride a dragon.
Riding a dragon, yes. Fighting the dragon. Please, let's not.
No, I'm not saying that we should charge out and fight. I'm just saying, if you think that Erlon is such a good force, it may well come down to that we have to fight Astaranthor.
Or Urlon. It was a choice. We made the choice of not fighting the ancient dragon you have just said is a good ally against the Illithid. So we had the choice, and he chose less fire over, more fire.
Fair enough. Maybe we can get a Zerlok in there instead of Erlon.
Turlock was just like a mook, though, I'm pretty sure, right?
I don't know. Zerlak seemed to know enough.
Also, isn't our goal to get back to the ground and not be in space
I would
anymore?
like to very much not be in space, please.
Look, I can get us back. It's fine. Just
What's
not
everyone's passive
right now.
perception?
25.
Not very high.
Passive
Uh,
perception
25.
22.
11.
Yeah.
All right. So our 5s and 0. You hear a little bit of claws on stone, almost like a dog, but smaller, and it's fading away in the distance.
Like it was near us, listening, and then left?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so does it sound like it's running? Because cat's agility, I have 60 feet movement, I can dash 420.
I mean, you
Also-
could try to go run down whatever made this noise. It does sound moving. Does seem to be moving away from you.
I'm going to become a large red drake, and I have an 80-foot flying speed.
How are
Okay.
you turning into a large red drake?
I'm a druid! Beast shape.
They're beasts.
Beasts. They're beasts. Check D&D Beyond. It's a large beast.
Really?
Large drake. Yeah. Large drake.
Large drake. Is that the name of the monster?
Yes. Drake, comma, large.
Oh, I think I know what those are. Yeah.
I checked CR and everything. So unless D&D Beyond is failing me, I should be able to do this.
I mean,
I had all my creatures prepped.
that's not popping up for me at all on D&D Beyond.
No?
You mean a
No.
guard drake?
If under my character, under creatures, you can search, and you can search according to your wild shape rules.
Yeah.
Which is what I did.
Hmm.
Possible that's homebrew content because I'm looking at the guard drake and ambush drake, and they're dragons, not
Would
beasts.
that be able to show up?
If you have a homebrew content enabled on your builder, yeah.
I don't think I do. Weird.
Well,
All right.
we're not gonna worry about it too much right now when you turn into a drake.
Okay. I was gonna
Not
say
that big a
I have a
deal.
backup plan, but okay, I'll do
In the
this.
grand scheme of things, it does not matter that much.
Cool.
It's not like brokenly powerful or anything, is it?
No.
No,
It's only a challenge rating of 1.
right, and
Go
it's not
ahead.
even my most hit points available to me or anything like that. So,
Do it.
all right, yay! So I take off in the direction, and I just
Alright.
telepathically, I'm like, "Hang on, got this. Fives, you can come
Okay.
with me if you want."
What does your drake look like?
Red Drake looks. I got at least a look at the smaller red dragon that we fought.
Yeah.
So maybe like it maybe is somewhat related.
Sure. Why not? It's red drake.
So, and I'll have fives do
A
the
large creature.
full movement chasing after.
Okay.
All right.
So when you head,
Oh, you
out
you
of
want
the
to
room.
get on my back?
I think
If
fives.
you fly me down this hallway, it looks even better.
That is
it's
true.
true.
Let's go.
All right.
Roll
Ah,
okay.
So, you fly out of the room, and the path branches to the left and to the right. Which way do you go? To
Did
the
we-
right is back to where you met with Erlon.
I just
Did we
listen.
hear which way it was?
Which way do I think it went?
You heard it drifting away, but now that you're moving full speed, it's not very loud, so there's not it's masking it. So, you can each make a perception check if you'd like.
As a
Very
drake, I
pause.
have advantage on perception checks that rely on sight. Do you feel this applies?
No, it's definitely hearing, not sight.
Oh, but I have advantage on perception checks anyway, I think. Double checking. Yep,
Sentinel shield.
Sentinel shield.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Well, I got a
So
I got
my,
a 26.
that's good.
Okay.
My total is only 12.
I think my good rolls are coming back to bite us now.
All right. You hear
They're
it to
biting
the
me
left.
now.
You fly out. You pause. You hear it going off to the left, and you take off that direction. What is Jord and Adrian doing at this time?
That's what I was like, so what do we do?
Well,
I guess we should follow. There probably will be a...
we probably should. Can you turn into the weird bird thing?
No.
No, okay, I can't either. I guess we just walk.
I guess.
Okay.
It was really good you did with the sword there, by the way.
Oh yeah, thanks.
awkward tank conversations as we walk down the hill.
Right.
Yeah.
I still really want to fight that dragon.
All right. So back to Fast Team. And you fly off farther out, and you come into kind of a 3-chambered, more rough-hewn area. And this area has a number of Githyanki knights hanging out. With different gems in their armor. After seeing a little bit, you think that the amounts and color and types of gems in their armor denotes like rank. And they're hanging out, and there's 3 of them, and a 4th is Erlon. One of them is Surlock, and as you run into the room, you see a squirrel sitting in front of them.
Yep.
Okay.
And you thunder into the room.
Squirrel.
So, I'm so tempted. I don't know. Dropping form, Eldritch Blast at the squirrel because I'm pissed off at Markwox. I have been.
So,
I want to hit that squirrel.
So you come in on Drake back. You drop Alchaya visually.
Wait.
First,
my God.
Alchaya's coming in, and they're all freaking out a little bit. And then you turn into 5s, and they're like a little less freaked out. And then you shoot the squirrel in front of them. Make an attack roll.
Okay. And hey, I'm a good liar. I'll explain it away.
Sure, why not?
So that is a 21 to hit.
You deck the squirrel in the face.
Let's see, damage. It would be... Oh, wait, no. I'm at level 14, so it's 3 separate beams. I just went...
So make 2 more attacks.
So next is 15 plus 10, 25.
I wonder if that hits a squirrel.
17 plus 10 for 27.
I think you hit the squirrel 3 times.
So it takes 3d10. Because Eldritch Blast.
Sure, minimum damage. It's just dead.
It's not dead. It's a familiar. It's
well, you know what I mean. It was non-reality for a while.
Yeah, so that's 4. It's 4 for 8. Plus 7 for... My mind is going blank. 15.
One moment. I need to...
This is where our stream gets raked on by PETA.
Fine, the squirrel turns into pixie dust.
You shoot the squirrel 3 times with Eldritch Blast as it kind of tumbles across the room. But it looks up at you, pained, but still around.
Oh, God.
Maybe that's just a warning, I say telepathically.
So
I'm going to jump off of the back of Zira.
So the squirrel looks up at you and goes, and out of its mouth comes the very humanoid words. Why?
I'll be honest. I've been annoyed at you since I saw you back in the dungeon. I had wanted to do that since I first saw you outside of our campsite. I'm on a bit of an adrenaline kick right now, so I just saw the chance and I took it. I'm sorry.
The squirrel sighs at you. Meanwhile, Erlon is standing there like,
Also, to be fair, I'm a cat, you're a squirrel.
Touche.
Fives. Can you please explain this, squirrel?
Yes, you see, it turns out that illithid you have downstairs, yeah, it was, as I am sure you might have figured out, was outcast from its group for being a magic practitioner. It would seem that this little squid face was trying to spy on us.
Interesting. Fives. And Erlon is being a little more frank than last time.
Yep.
This squirrel, before you arrived, told me some interesting things.
Uh-oh.
Oh, did it tell you the weather forecast? Because I would like to know that, rain, it wrecks my fur.
We're in space.
Well, I know, but I mean, when I get back down to where I live, I don't want my fur to be a mess.
Now, I've come to understand that you may or may not have been disingenuous about our previous arrangements. A certain dragon may want me dead, and right about then the squirrel disappears.
So, sorry, hold on one moment. So that squirrel told you that what exactly? Sorry, I don't understand the nature of these accusations. Can I have qualification as the word is as to what I'm being accused of?
Sending a dragon after me to kill me. One that I wanted to hopefully be in charge of after this whole snafu was taken care of.
So, sorry, just to lay this whole situation out before me. The familiar of a spell-casting mind flayer that was forced under the control of us to make sure it would not act out, has sent its familiar to spy on us, and coincidentally, it has information that the very people that hold it under Aegeas betrayed you to a dragon. So, the mind flayer is the truthful one in this case?
I'm not saying that a mind flayer can be disingenuous, although admittedly when it gave me the information I was not aware that it was mind flayer. But when somebody sends you memories that it has of listening to a certain conversation, it's hard to fabricate those things.
Uh-oh.
I will point out mind flayers, they are the mind. But I guess you will believe what you will believe. I can simply claim that it is lying. And that is the truth at the base of it all. Why would I seek to set a dragon upon you? That would jeopardize my chances.
I'm not entirely sure, personally. That's why it's so perplexing. Maybe I'll have a chat with the dragon myself. Find out where that ends us.
By all means, you are free to do so. It's not like I can stop you or anything.
Right about now, Jord and Adrian show up. Just like,
By the way, Adrian,
Huh?
there is a spider just on your shoulder. By the way, it's mine.
Hi.
But I left Lunara behind on your shoulder.
Oh,
Oh, look, we have found our friends.
how thoughtful. Yes.
Yeah.
That was a nice lap we've jogged just now. We could go again, right?
So, Elon, let us be frank.
Yeah.
What will happen here? Let us dispense with games and pretty words.
well, if I'm understanding the situation correctly, we had an arrangement, and you decided for some inexplicable reason to potentially, hypothetically, to set an ancient red dragon on my head. Not entirely sure why. Assuming that checks out to be correct, in which case I'll ascertain that via communications with said dragon telepathically, so it can't just eat my head. That turns out to be true, then I'm afraid I might need to dispose of you.
May I, while this conversation is happening, just try to get a better read generally on Erlon. Not Elrond, but Erlon.
Hashtag when did Elrond show up?
You're welcome for that.
Yeah, make an insight check. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. It's coming back now. Where's my insight? 28.
Erlon seems somewhat forthright here. He genuinely isn't super interested in fighting you, but he seems to think that Fives is trying to kill him for reasons that he can't quite figure out, and that concerns him. That being said, he's not really that interested in like tussling with people who just wrecked Alchaya and a young red dragon at once.
Right. I'll just telepathically say to Fives, this is salvageable. He doesn't want to fight. Find a way to make peace, and we're good here.
Okay, I'm going to give no physical reaction to this, but Fives is going to, similar to what I was just doing, start stroking at his fur, although Maggie's beard, but the same, and say, well, I guess I have no recourse as to changing your mind, as you said. Simply asking the dragon would probably be the best way to ascertain the truth, and by all means, do so. But might I raise a quick point?
Of course.
Our job following what the unfortunate disaster that befell Alchaya was to, I believe, head towards the Mind Flayer ship. I think I can speak for the rest of my group when I say we still hold that intent. And I'm going to look at each person, well, two people and a Drake.
I incline my head as I understand.
So, might I propose something that might agree to both of us? This attack on the Mind Flayer's ship could well be called suicidal, no? So, you let us continue with our intent, the rest of our deal, that is, attacking the ship. And in return, well, that might just kill us anyway.
I'm going to have an amendment to that. Convince the dragon not to kill me?
Telepathically, I say to Fives, if you are as Alchaya and happen to fall in battle, then, that leaves it open for Erlon to take command naturally, so long as you give them another scapegoat for the coup.
Telepathically back, and Fives physically is almost going over it in his mind, but back to Zyra is, and do you have any suggestions as to who the scapegoat might be?
No, but Urlan might.
Right.
There's the problem of the fact that you told the dragon that Erlon killed her child.
No, we said,
right.
Five said he thinks it was Erlon being responsible for the assassins, not that Erlon tried to do it.
That there were assassins, and she thought that Erlon was responsible. That's all that was said. This is salvageable.
If you can, and this is out loud, if you can present me to Ashtaranthor, if you can make it so that she would not kill intruders upon this space dock, I am more than happy to have words. But at the same time, I am very eager to take the fight to the Mind Flayers.
I can think of one particular individual that we could pin this on.
Speak then.
You're not going to like it though. In our
Evidence.
holding, in our holding, we have one Ezria, a Githzerai.
The Drake
Oh.
snarls.
Yeah. She has a very negative disposition towards my kind. If she would have happened to get loose and be with a few smooth words to the Drake, it could solve all of our problems. We can't pin it on the Mind Flayers easily. They wouldn't do a coordinated assassination like that. That's just not their kind.
Telepathically. Well, Zyra?
Zira is just as the Drake, like you know how like the hairs stand up on a cat. It's kind of like that, but as a Drake, the scales along the ridge have just like,
Yeah.
And her posture is not great, not friendly so much anymore, and if there is a way we can utilize this individual as a scapegoat without her dying, that is preferable to me.
Do you
May
really,
I speak with her?
All right, and you're saying that to Fives?
do you
Telepathically.
really think that Ashtaranthor is willing to forfeit her revenge
Oh,
to let this Ezra die? To not die?
so, someone must die. It is us, it is Urlon, or it is now, I guess, this Githzerai. That is the choice.
Please let me speak with her before we do any of this. That's all I ask.
Out loud, I would ask one request, that we get to speak to this Githzerai. Initially, if we're pinning a assassination on her, it is only polite.
That can be arranged. I do require one assurance, though.
And what would that be?
I'll try a sword. Symbol of command. I'm going to need it.
Does anyone have any opposition to this? Again, telepathically.
So long as you have the sword while you need it to portray yourself as her. After that, go ahead. It's an important thing to pass down.
I don't think I can actually portray myself as her again.
You have to spend.
That's
you have to spend a short
problematic.
rest and then do it.
Well, we're gonna need one of those anyway.
Hold on. You capture shadow to use it.
Is you hold on to the shadow for a long rest, but the ability can be used once per short rest. So you can do it multiple times in a day, just between short rests.
But it says you can capture its shadow until you use it or you finish a long rest.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, no more Alchaya.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So-
since we don't have that in our toolkit anymore, I don't think there's a point in hanging on to this Githyanki sword anyway.
Fives does has a plan though, but I will say he's being careful not to broadcast it through the telepathic bond.
Very
Erlon
nice.
holds out his hand for the greatsword.
Did one of you two pick it up? Or did it go in the bag of holding?
We gave it to Fives so that Fives had it when the dragon came, so that you were holding on to her
Okay.
actual sword.
Right.
Yeah.
So he would have put it in the
radiates
bag
magic.
of holding.
Yeah.
So he'll take it out of the bag of holding then and hand it over. or rather, push it across the floor.
All right.
Big ass sword. Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
sword.
yeah.
Pretty
Nice.
sword.
Ooh.
All right. And he takes it, and there's kind of a thrum of power. Thank you.
Murder us all.
We can take him.
Well, I'm a Drake. Bring it.
Yeah.
We took out Child. We could take this chump.
He turns to Surlock. Take them to Ezria. Keep an eye on them.
How much longer do I have on enhanceability, by the way? Because I'm still maintaining concentration on that.
Probably like 40 minutes.
Cool. You have 40 minutes left so long as I maintain concentration. So there you go.
Okay.
Right.
Could be handy.
So Surlock leads you farther towards the front of Stardock, to the front traveling edge, which is towards the Mind Flayer ship, to a bank of 3 cells that Surlock pulls out a Stardock rod and goes to the middle one, and touches it, and it opens up.
Could I
And-
do a quick perception check to see if there's anything unique about this rod? As in, have I noticed that all you need is a Stardock rod, or do they have to be specific ones for specific use?
All the Stardock rods seem to be the same, and
Okay.
you just touched them. And you guys have 2 in your possession, so
Okay.
y'all folks. All right, the middle one opens up, and sitting on a crystal bench, her elbow on her knee, holding a beautiful silver dagger, and with an eye patch over her left eye.
Awesome.
So I'll drop form. No longer a Drake.
Whoa. Yeah. On seeing Zira, Githzerai, she softens a little bit. She was kind of stoic, and she's
How do you spell her name?
Ezria, Ezria.
So I'm going to step
you.
back upon seeing her soften and let Zira take command of the conversation.
You get captured too?
Yes. I am not. But it is unfortunate that you were. See, there's quite a bit of a pickle that you're in at the moment, unfortunately. And you have very few options.
I'm inclined to agree. I'm not in a very great situation. I'm hoping we have a forward team. In one of the other areas of the dungeon. Hopefully they can find me and arrange for my rescue.
I'm inclined to think that this whole war against our kinds, it doesn't need to continue. And I know that that's not a popular opinion, but come on. The Illithid have done so much harm to both our kinds. So I'm going to make you an offer here.
So what's that?
Now, these people are going to use you as a scapegoat for a coup, no matter what I do, no matter what you want to happen. This is a thing that will occur. What I can offer you, though, is if you're willing to reevaluate the validity of the war between our kinds and whether or not we should unite more steadfastly against our greater enemy, I am willing to take a piece of you now and return it to your people so that they can bring you back when all is said and done.
She spins her dagger a little bit, chucks it into the far wall, digging into the crystal wall, and then she holds her hand out and it wobbles and flies back to her hand, and she just a few times. She's thinking.
Fives is going
There's a lot.
to step
Oh,
forward
well,
slightly and say, "My dear, I am a charlatan. I am a liar. I am a cheat. I am a thief. I am an assassin. I am every other dark word under the sun, all in pursuit of the greater good. Allow me to state, though, that Zyder here is 1,000 times more honorable than I, and 1,000 times more wiser. It would do you good to listen to her. The machinations of politics always leave casualties. If one can be returned from the field of this unpleasant war, then it is worth giving her words the weight they deserve."
look, I'm not. There's a lot of Githzerai that move through from life to death and so forth. Not a lot of them get brought back when they fall for the cause. I'm just not that important. It's hard. It's expensive.
I can do it.
You can?
You might not be the same as you are now, but I can bring you back.
She like moves her eye patch a little bit, and you can see the darkened reddish hole where the eye is missing, and she kind of scratches it.
You'll
Like,
most likely be human if I do it, rather than your people. Or I can wait until I grow more powerful and bring you back as you are. But it would take more time.
So I'm gonna be dead in one way or the other.
That's the way of it. That's what these people have for you.
Sounds like that's what you have for me too.
I am but one. I cannot stand against them all, even if that were what I chose to do.
Well.
I don't want your death. I can try to rectify it.
Yeah. Spins her knife a little bit. On the day of my death, do I take charity from a murderer? One of her own kind.
Over the telepathic bond, you hear George say, "Why do we not just kill the Githyanki and rescue the Githzerai? I do not understand that this is a choice. We must kill her. We have already set up Ulan as the fall man. We are now deciding to kill one of your own to save the Githyanki? This makes no sense."
And telepathically, I say, they've already marked her for death. And, like I said, my two races united are best a chance at defeating the Illithid.
Uniting by murdering one another does not seem very united.
She might live.
She chucks her dagger, point first, into the crystal wall next to you, Zira, like right about at neck height.
Look, just because they want you dead and will make you a scapegoat doesn't mean that you will definitively die. All I'm saying is, I'd like to give you a chance, a contingency plan, as it were. I'm in a unique position to be able to give that to you. Were I not part of this ensemble here, you wouldn't have that at all. You are up a leg in this fight as what you were before.
And she kind of leans forward and stands up, takes a step forward, But you could do so much more. We are a beautiful, wondrous people, and you, I can feel it, you emanate strength. We could take the fight to them. Let the just and the righteous prevail, and let the evil and wicked fall by the wayside.
That
The
sounds a
evil.
lot better to me.
The evil and the wicked are the illithid.
I may be mincing words a little bit. Fall by the wayside, I mean slaughtering them like the pigs they are.
The Githyanki are our blood. No matter whether or not we like it, they are our blood. And we would do well to remember that. All of us, the Githyanki and Zerai alike.
Well, I tried to change your mind. I'll take your contingency since you're offering it.
Do you want to give me a finger or a toe? Dealer's choice.
She reaches into her pocket and pulls out an eyeball, one that seems
Or
to have
that.
come from her.
Makes sense.
This got carved out a couple years back in a brawl with a blue slod. It ought to still do.
All right.
Why did you keep it?
Yeah, I agree. What the hell?
You
It
don't
was
keep
good.
your own body parts?
No.
was a good fight.
No,
Why? They're part of you.
it's gross.
It was a good fight. I wanted to remember it.
That's right.
You okay.
Anyway, she kind of tosses it, but it's like way short, and then she pulls the knife back, and as the knife is flying back, has the eye bounce off the knife and over to you.
Sorry,
a lot
one
of spare time.
more time. She did what with the knife?
So she chucks the eyeball in a very soft lob nearby. Like it's short, and she pulls the knife back, and as the knife's flying back, the eyeball bounces off the knife over to you. I have a lot of spare time.
I can see that. I just put the eyeball in one of my many, many pouches.
But wouldn't you remember the fight because you lost your eye?
Don't you keep mementos of anything?
Not body parts. They tend to rot.
You're right.
No.
Also, scars. I usually
I think it's
remember
quite
how-
odd that you don't want to keep your own body parts that you've lost in for whatever reasons.
Humans are so weird.
Right?
I take offense to that.
Not sure if I should or not.
Fives has stayed out that whole thing, by the way. Just chuckling to himself in amusement.
I mean, my bun here, the bones keeping my bun together, they're from the first time I lost my left hand.
Okay.
That's fun.
That's
The first time.
morbid. Yes, I heard you qualify it.
Yeah.
It's how many times did you use it?
No, we're getting distracted.
Twice.
We're getting distracted.
That is awesome.
Urge to fight Dragon Rising. So I can cleanse my brain with fire.
So Ezra is just kind of sitting back. So, what, you gonna release me to run about this mountain meteor while I'm hunted? Like a sick game?
I'm going to step out and is a Githyanki nearby. I assume Erlon would be nearby.
No, I think Sherlock brought us here.
Yeah, Sherlock, but he is Sherlock.
Sherlock and Elrond. This is best campaign
What is
ever.
happening?
Sherlock and Elrond in space with dragons, Gith, and Illithid. I'm about it.
This is the worst fan fiction I've ever read.
Or the greatest. Or the greatest.
Or the greatest.
So you said Serlon is there.
Sherlock.
Sherlock.
They emerged.
Sherlock.
being-
We are one.
I'm being
Now Voltron has showed up. Jesus.
You said it so many times, it just got stuck in my head and merged. Damn it. Sherlock. It's a Sherlock. It's
Yeah, Sherlock's here, but he's being quiet.
okay. And were we told specifically if Erlon wanted her to be released free to run?
You imagine that's probably how it would happen, so that you can set the dragon on her.
Okay. I'll have a quick word with Sherlock just to confirm that if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. He confirms it. It's like, yeah, that's. He seems a little shaken by the whole scenario. Things of his world has shifted dramatically in the last 3 hours.
Yeah.
So he's a little.
So when I step back in to the cell, I'm going to say, it does seem that is their intent, yes, to hunt you like game, as you said, but put it this way. If this is comforting to you, you're going to be put to death anyway. If you feel like getting your anger issues out, what else can they do to you?
Fair. Yeah, at least I'm not working with. I mean, you're only working with the gift. It's not like you're working with the mind flayers.
Oh, drive that spike in.
She doesn't know.
Telepathically, can't we just kill all of them?
Kill all of who?
The Githyanki, the Mind Flayers, the dragons.
Look, like I said, to kill the Mind Flayers, the Githyanki are an important asset. What about this isn't clear? You can always deal with the Githyanki after if that's what you want to do.
But your friend will be
Mind
dead.
Flayers. My
Your
friend
friend
hasn't
is going
with
to be
Yankee.
But
She
your
has
friend-
outdated intel.
Your friend is about to be eaten by a dragon. That is something we cannot take back.
Apparently, you're friends now.
Well, the word friends is a very loose word.
Very bullheaded, and that is a trait my kind tends to have. I'm not saying it's a positive one.
Yeah. Not to mention, just as DM for a second, we don't have enough airtime for you guys to fight everyone. Just
That's
pointing it out.
correct.
I know.
So,
If it's a home campaign, yeah, go for it. But
so
I'm.
as we're
What I'm
releasing-
hearing is we need to expand this later.
So as we're releasing Ezria,
Yeah.
so I'm just going to grab George and pull him to one side, and whisper just out of earshot of Zera and Atrian. And he's shrugging off the bag of holding and passing it to George. And he's saying, if this plan does not work, the initial idea I have, well, let's just say I had a good life. And I'm skilled in making people angry, specifically at me. If that does tend to be the case, here, and he holds out the bag of holding.
George takes it slightly and says, "You should not sacrifice yourself lightly, my friend."
Oh, I'm not going to do it lightly, just in case. But that holds the Stardock rods, that holds the coin, that holds the books, and most importantly, that holds my final request. If I should die, reaching into the bag of holding and asking for 5 Thorns of the Blossom's death letters, or grant you a bundle of letters. If you can, see them return to Waterdeep for me.
Do what I can.
I mean, I have old versions ready to be distributed if I do not get in contact with a friend of mine, but they are the up-to-date ones.
Ezria kind of tips up her chin, gestures with the dagger, and says, "You know, if the cat has a death wish, you could always have him die instead of me."
I tried to do that out of earshot of.
I know she rolled a really good perception.
Fair enough.
She just kind of calls out the door.
Fair enough.
Fives, you can always give me a toe.
Reaches into the bag of holding and actually does pull out a toe.
See? See? I'm telling you, you gotta keep your body parts, guys.
I'm a collector. What can I say?
I don't make a habit of losing them in the first place.
Well, contingency plans are not uncommon, nor are, getting rid of mementos. Why would you just get rid of them?
I have a difficulty with maintaining things that are no longer attached to my person. It is more of a personal nature.
I mean, my original intent with that toe was to let it basically rot and just have a toe bone, Make a necklace out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I hear ya. Your own bones make amazing jewelry and accessories. I mean, come on.
My bones belong in my body.
Anyway, should we move on with this? See if we end up actually being roasted and move on to hopefully slaying some mind flayers.
I pocket the toe.
Okay.
Okay.
I put the bag of holding on my shoulder.
Yeah. Ezria gets up, stretches a little bit, flips her dagger a couple times. Let's get this over with.
Just back out the way and let her go.
Yeah. Sherlock actually moves through the cell and opens. There's a back door to the cell that is also locked, and gestures for her to go out that way.
Just before she goes, Five shouts out and says, "Do try not to die too quickly." And I'm giving her bardic inspiration, just because that's what he did.
Nice.
That's sweet. That's a D10 inspiration?
Let me double check that, because level 14, never played this high up bard.
Multi-class bard rogue thing.
Yeah, so it is D10.
Bard rogue thing.
I say that in admiration.
Good combo. It is a good combo.
All right, and as Ezria leaves, she points ahead in and looks at Zira and says, "Thanks for nothing." And she leaves. And we're gonna go to break. We're gonna go to break because I need to do that.
Yeah.
So I'll probably take 10 minutes while we're having this thing happen to just re-up it if we have time. Oh,
Oh,
Come.
well, that's less than ideal.
Yeah, still okay.
kid that like looks around, sits down, and like leans back and just pulls a popcorn and is just like, okay, I'm just gonna like live here now and watch the shit go down.
I like the raccoon eating popcorn. Oh, hey, we're on.
Hey.
Hello. Some mild to severe tech issues have been solved with a small prescription of Sean, who is our lovely person running tech today.
Thank you,
great.
Sean.
Love
Thank
him.
you so much.
Sean.
I still can't do heart hands properly. It just ends up being deflated and sad.
Hey, any heart's a good heart.
Even deflated and sad.
Correct.
Unless it's out of your body. But then, you would have it in your bag for some reason.
That's right.
All right.
Put that in your bag.
So let's do a quick little recap today. So where we are right now. Last session, the party killed a dragon. Dragon mom was really sad. They also did a political assassination of Alchaya, the Gith Yankee leader, to usurp for Erlon. But this session, Fives decides to disguise herself as Alchaya, tell the dragon it was Erlon's fault who killed Alchaya and her son. Zoltrax is a male dragon. And then they went to go talk to Erlon, who got told by their mind flayer, who they geosed to his world familiar, that what Fives had done didn't. And then that was mildly tense, and they're like, that's okay, we'll pin it all on this prisoner, Ezria we have, who's a Gith Zurak. And you just sent Ezria off to get hunted by a red dragon. We're going to see how that ends out. And the party, I think, wanted to re-up a couple spells.
Hashtag really sorry.
Yes. So I just, pull out my ritual book and just sort of use what do you just sort of start casting again. But instead of, your typical wizardly ritual casting, you see Zira just has sort of like almost a weird interpretive dance sort of movement to her when she's doing this and chanting very strangely in Gith.
I'm picturing Marisha Ray gifts.
Basically, yes. It's like it's her version of casting rituals.
That's awesome. I love it.
And then we can all speak telepathically to each other again.
Yar.
Some more.
All right. Right about as you're finishing that, a large boom happens as Stardock, the meteorite you're careening through space on, shakes.
Oh no!
And the gravity goes out.
Well,
as you start to float.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
This was too good to be true.
I'll be honest, it's quite relaxing. And Fives is just on his back, hands behind his head, tail slowly swishing in the air.
So at this point, you can still traverse the space by grabbing and pulling along the walls. But it's everything is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually,
can I use my winged boots? Is there does that
totally
work? Okay.
Yeah. That also works. Yes.
I also have those, but I will save them for now.
What is the party going to do at this time?
Before we do anything, can I, as Fives, make a quick check to think back on something that happened when he interacted with Ash Trianthor? Specifically, does he think that she could recognize that he isn't Alchaya by scent?
You think there's a chance? She did sniff you pretty good.
Okay.
That being said, you're pretty fucking suave. Maybe you can just talk a circle around her.
Okay.
Hey.
We'll see how it goes.
Here's a thought. Why don't you we've got her body. Just, do a little.
Okay, I think
Just nuzzle up to it.
George holding the bag.
Smell
Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, it's this. I'm not all that bright when it comes to plans, but I mean, you want to smell like her.
Well, I mean, I could just wear her armor. I don't need to. And I will give you the benefit of the doubt that that wasn't a dig at me being feline and rolling in things.
No, I would do it. It just makes sense.
I wear her armor. I'm not exactly into necrophilia. I mean, I have a few kinks, but not necrophilia.
So,
I didn't say to defile it that way. I just said,
Okay, getting
the
distracted.
scent on you.
Moving
Alright.
along.
So,
Jeez.
so, obviously, as a bard rogue, you're not proficient in plate armor, but you can like kind of patchwork it on, and mostly for the scent, that's
Mhm.
fine. Normal, officially, if you're wearing armor you're not proficient in, you have disadvantage and everything. You can't cast spells. I have a feeling you wouldn't want that.
Bad.
Yeah, he's not looking to wear the armor, just to at least the very basics of it, just
Yeah.
so it'll assist a disguise self spell, but also
Sure.
give the scent.
All right.
Because Fives does have meticulous grooming, basically. He always tries to make
So,
sure he has no scent, so hopefully it'll work.
in the zero gravity of Stardock currently, you change into some padding, sort of the under padding and like the shoulder pieces and a little bit.
Yeah, he
of-
shows
of
no
size.
shame, by the way. He shows no shame while doing this. Just doesn't care.
Need an extra pair of hands? I can help.
I would appreciate it, yes.
Yeah, all right. So I just start helping with the armor.
Yep.
I'm trying to picture that because it's zero gravity and it's an odd picture.
Yeah.
It's very
Is this
hard,
how-
yes.
Is this how astronauts get dressed?
They usually tap themselves down. But that is all right.
Right.
So,
So,
what are we doing?
Yeah, there's some rumbling from outside. You can't currently see. Ezria is off a flutter. Presumably, Erlon would have talked to Ashtaranthor by now.
Mhm. Did he give a place to go meet him?
Erlon
Yeah.
didn't seem to just be back to the same location. And of course, Surlock's there, kind of a little like he's in charge of where you guys are, but like he's just a little.
So
What
just
are
to
you-
clarify, with this armor, can I still cast spells, or is there any?
Yeah. I'm basically under the thing of it. You're just wearing it for the like cloth. No actual effect on your AC mechanically or anything like that.
Oh yeah, it's basically him just dressing in a disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it won't impact my spells.
No.
Okay, then just wanted to clarify because as we approach where you were, Fives would reach into the pouch, one of the pouches on his waist. Oh no, he doesn't because it's not material. Never mind. He just prepared to cast disguise self.
All right. You're gonna head back to Erlon.
I think
so-
that's what we're agreeing on.
Surlock
Seems reasonable.
shakes out of it. Yes. This way. And he leads you off.
Could I do a perception check to keep an ear out for Ashtaranthar? And as soon as if I know that she is at the meeting point, cast disguise self then, because I don't want it running out mid conversation.
Right.
That's fair.
Smart.
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, you make it back to the meeting point without really any issue. Well, shit. As you're going through, they lead you back a slightly different way, and you're led through a small shrine dedicated to a 5-headed dragon.
Hey,
Two
oh, sorry.
Two beautiful tapestries hang on the walls and carved on the floor. The stylized 15-foot diameter disc shape engraved with a dragon with 5 different chromatic colored heads, all spewing their dragon fire.
Can I make a religion check to recognize it? Because I recognize
Absolutely.
it. I don't know if Fives does.
Yeah, go ahead. Make a religion check. Anyone can.
That is 17 plus 2. 19.
Those
That's a dirty 20.
All right. So is that a total of 2, Adrian?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't bother.
Okay, so Jordan Fives, you recognize this is a depiction of Tiamat, god of chromatic dragons. She is associated with avarice and greed. And actually, as you're looking at it, it's kind of harder to see, but she is currently breathing all of her dragon breath at an old man with 7 golden canaries, which you also recognize with that role as a depiction of Bahamut in human form. He seems to be burning alive.
Cool.
Over the telepathic bond being wary not to say anything out loud now, is the Fives going to say, are we sure we want to go ahead with this when they worship Tiamat?
Told
I'm
you.
not exactly happy with this.
Evil.
I believe that ship is sealed. We let them release the gift out, and it's too late.
And I mean, besides, the Githzerai apparently already have some sort of plan to attack here. I mean, look, if we can postpone that little conflict until the Illithid are dealt with, then I'm more than happy about it.
Very well. It's just Tiamat does not agree with my ideals.
I'm not saying that it should.
Out through one of the windows, you see Ash Taranthor and one of her brood fly through the air, arcing around the Stardock.
Did she see us?
Doesn't seem to.
Okay.
It's pretty far out.
So I assume we continue on back to the meeting point.
Yep. You float along, pulling yourself along in the gravity. And you get back to the room where Erlon was. All the tables and chairs and armor racks that were around are just floating through the air haphazardly, and the Githyanki are floating there talking about what's going on. And you hear a little conversation about what the gravity's never failed before. That's odd. Maybe the mind flayers are doing something. They're not really sure.
Is Erlon in the room? Erlon?
Yes.
Just going to head over to him and ask him basically what is going on. Why is there no gravity?
Yeah, he's like upside down from you, and it's like our current scenario we're looking at is we think that the mind flayers are doing some sort of magic to weaken the binding forces of Stardock.
And this is why I recommended we head out straight to deal with them.
They've started to weaken the orbit of Stardock. We've started to lose altitude. Our current predictions have us crash landing into the city of Waterdeep. If this
Can we fix it?
That's less than ideal.
Well, we are hoping that if we deal with the mind flayers, that the magic that keeps Stardock aloft and on its trajectory will reassert itself and will correct the course.
Then can we hurry up and deal with them, please? If you need me to talk to the fucking dragon, just get her here.
And talk to the dragon. That's all cleared up. They still have their force field up, though.
Yes.
Aren't you going to have to deal with Mark Rocks to deal with that?
Yes.
So we are free to go and deal with the mind flayers now?
Yes, go.
We will require transportation, no? Unless any of us can zip
I believe
across.
there was mention of dragons.
Yes. We'll give some of Ash Taranthor's brood for you to ride upon into battle, assuming we can actually get to that point.
All right.
Meet out. I'll assemble some of them over at the dock. You can meet me out there
Very well.
when you're ready.
Okay, if Ives is reaching, is going to ask Jord if he can reach into the bag of holding, or take it back at least. And he's pulling out one of his cloaks and is wrapping it tightly around him because he is still technically wearing Altria's armor. And it's probably not a good idea for him to be seen wearing Altria's armor at the moment.
That is wise.
No.
So he's fully covered in this cloak now. Oh, and he also reaches in, grabs out a perfume bottle that keen eyes would see is engraved with the name Kaisona, and does spray it along his body to try and give a new scent.
All right. You're gonna head to Marquox's cell.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You head across Stardock, going back to the area you first met Erlon and into the prison cell that Marquox holds by himself at the very back end of Stardock. You
No more
get to the door.
spying.
You get to the door, and it is closed currently.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Bag of holding, Stardock rod. Tap it on the door.
Perfect.
The door opens. Marquox is floating in the air, cross-legged. You think it's a little easier now, but he's just a little tilted.
No more spying. Got it?
He doesn't respond.
I'm gonna need confirmation that you heard that.
Doesn't respond.
You have him on the
No,
gears.
Where's the
though.
squirrel? Where's the squirrel?
Doesn't respond.
I'm throwing a dagger at him.
No, I'm
Yeah.
asking, like, where's the squirrel?
Oh, you do not see the squirrel currently.
Okay.
I'm throwing a dagger.
At him, just floating in the air.
Yes.
Make an attack roll. You have advantage.
Okay.
No.
Just making sure it's not an illusion. And if I stab him, then he's a mind flayer. I don't really care at this point of time. So with advantage, that is a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
So that will do 8 points of damage.
Okay.
If he's even real.
So, the dagger sinks into part of his cloak, and his eyes open up as he makes a concentration check, and he looks at you.
No more spying.
He doesn't seem to acknowledge the words that at all, and you hear in your mind, what did you want?
No more spying.
I do believe that you're under gears to follow
Correct.
Zira's commands.
Oh, and he says, oh, I thought I forgot to mention, this area of silence is keeping me from hearing you, so you cannot impact your abilities upon me. And this telepathy is one way, so I'm just gonna exposit a little bit on you.
If I can do this, he's reaching into the bag of holding, pulling out his mandolin, shoving off the notes, and casting fly on himself.
Sure. Yep. So
and
he says,
is looking to just charge right in there and grab that squid face fucker.
yeah. So, and he's only speaking to Zira, by the way. No one else.
Mhm.
So I'm the only one who knows that there's silence in the room?
Currently, yes. Although it's not that hard to ascertain once
Right.
certain things happen. For instance, you didn't hear the dagger hit him at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Let me elaborate a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
We're in a situation.
He would have taken sneak attack because I'm a rogue.
Sure. Go
I
ahead.
just realized that.
oh
Sorry.
my god.
That'd be 10 points of
I
damage.
actually thought you were choosing not to do that.
Oh no,
because you were
Fives is
trying to
Fives is pissed. I just forgot I was a rogue.
That's fair enough. I forgot I was a rogue, guys. So
Not my
we're in a
brightest moment.
situation where we have a common enemy of these other mind flayers. Can't we? I believe. I believe we have an arrangement where you are going to get me free. In response, I would help you lower that force field on the illithid ship. Isn't that still a decent plan? You can
It
nod.
sure would be if you weren't throwing wrenches into it. Telepathically.
Yeah, he's only doing one-way telepathy to you.
At this point, can Fives...
So he's not allowing me to speak back to him telepathically?
Yeah.
At this point, because I've got fly on, can Fives move forward, grab him, and start to drag him out?
Sure, you can just go at him.
That is unwise.
Oh, not going to stab him. My idea is grab him and just throw him out of the room.
No, that is
All right.
unwise.
That's okay. Are you
But
saying
you do what you do.
Are you
Do
saying
what
that's
you do, what you do, what you do to me.
Is that being said telepathically or?
I just say telepathically, the room has precautions against his abilities.
Fives halts at the doorway then and tries to calm himself down.
The Mark walks, still sitting in the air. He looks down, realizes he's a little tilted, and corrects.
I just pull another dagger and hold it ready.
So
You know what? My patience is running out with this motherfucker.
At this point, he's going to communicate telepathically to all of you, not just Zira, and still only one way. And say, so, how about instead of trying to take advantage of the situation you put me in, I tell you how to deal with the force field, and you let me go. You can nod.
Or just I am.
Fives' response is just this.
Yeah. He raises his eyebrows and looks.
Yeah, George literally does this. Like,
Yeah.
Do you have any other way of rectifying this situation without this creature?
probably not, but we cannot just agree to let him go. What if he is lying? He has not been trustworthy so far.
It's still under the
Under
Gios.
Gaius, so he shouldn't be able to lie.
Correct, but he cannot hear us to tell him not to lie.
Zero,
Facts.
remind me what commands you gave him.
I had originally told him that he is supposed to obey all of my commands.
It
and
occurs to you that you told him all the things not to do before you cast the spell.
Is
And
that,
then you
I
cast
mean,
the spell.
I thought that was part of the casting the spell.
Because when you actually cast the spell, I asked, what is the actual command? Is it that you listens to your commands? And you're like, yes. Because it can't be like a laundry list of things. It's like a thing.
Okay. My understanding was I gave it the commands that it was supposed to follow along with the spell.
No, well, he's been very tidily trying to keep you from telling him to do things since you cast the spell.
I'm fed up with this. I cast a spell magic on the silence.
That works.
No more spying. No lying. Are you hearing me?
Zero, I would repeat the whole not feeding on us. You know, since those commands.
No feeding on any of us. None of that shit. All commands I gave you from before are holding now. Are you understood? Am I understood?
Yes.
If not, we can always have Atrion remove your body from your head.
Now, let me make something clear to you.
Yes, I got it wrong.
We had an arrangement to help you remain alive for a time at least. Now, you going and sowing discord by spying and then trying to plant little seeds of doubt and chaos that will potentially get us killed means your chances of survival much more slim. You understand? So let's not go through the whole, defiling your own self in the buttocks, okay? Because that's what you're doing right now. And I'm done with it. We clear?
Crystal.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Now let's get a fucking move on.
If I may, Zira,
Yes.
give him an order to not betray us. Give him an order as that he is to tell us without withholding any information,
Yes.
without obscuring any information, completely upfront, how it is we are to circumvent the Mind Flayer's defense. No point giving him loopholes.
I reiterate what Five said. And
Sure.
Yeah.
The force field is potent, doesn't dispel, but it can be removed quite swiftly with a little disintegration magic.
Mm.
one of which I can perform, of course. And failing that, may I cast a spell
What spell?
called Wrist Pocket.
Order him to make sure he's. Oh no, you told him not to lie.
And what are you trying to retrieve?
A scroll to help you with the force field.
You may retrieve the scroll, and that is all.
And a little scroll tube appears in his hand, and he points and it floats over to you.
Okay. I take the scroll. It's a scroll of disintegration? Or...
It is.
All right.
And in fact, it's actually 2 if you open it up and look.
Hey. I hand one to Fives.
Oh, thank you. Does anyone else want this? Just to check.
Nope.
No. Athrin, I think you will be good though to disintegrate with blade and spell. Do you want this?
I think so.
Nope.
I think the chances of being able to cast the spell from the scroll increase dramatically if you can actually cast the spell on your own or that level of magic.
Incapable
So since
casting.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
right. So between Fives and Jord, who can cast the appropriate level spell? That's who should
I
have
think-
the scroll.
Let George quickly look up. I don't think warlocks get disintegrated at all.
Probably not, but what level spells can you cast?
Level 7.
So can Fives cast that high yet? I don't think
Fives.
so. You can
Disintegrate
cast to like
Disintegrate's a
Disintegrate
6th level spell.
6th
Yeah,
level.
5 stopped 1 level short of Bard to get 6 levels casting.
So maybe Jord and I.
Yeah, I guess, do I count as a, so this is a DM, not a in-character question, because I use Mystic Arcanums, I don't actually,
Yeah. It's fine.
okay, I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Yes, I dabble enough that I can do this.
I've dealt with enough scrolls to know that much. I don't know a whole lot more, but I do know that.
Yes, I've never been so good with casting with a scroll. So, besides, I'm not. My magic was tempered a bit by my other training. So,
So Jord has a scroll and I have a scroll of disintegrate.
seems like it. Yes.
Well, lovely.
All
so
right,
then take this
so-
fucker with us.
Marklox, tell me exactly, with no trickery, why we need you.
Well, you needed me to give you that information
Hmm.
and to provide you with those objects.
And now that we have the information, have you given us all the information that you can foresee with your current knowledge that we will need to succeed in bringing this force field down?
Yes. Oh, try not to let the mind flayers counter the disintegrate.
Right.
That brings up the question: can you counterspell?
You can.
Yes,
And then
you can.
counter that counter. Sorry.
Yeah,
You can.
no,
Although I do have a house rule: if you counterspell or counterspell, it causes a wild magic surge. It's extra fun.
Oh my god, yes.
I have
yes.
another question for the whatever. How long until they can reapply this shield?
It could potentially be fairly quick. You're probably going to want to assault swiftly after dropping it. That being said, it won't be of much use to them if you're all inside it already.
No, this is I understand. But if we cast it and it takes a minute, okay. If it takes 4 seconds, less okay.
I believe it takes a minute to invoke.
Very well.
So we have a small window of time to get through it.
So it seems.
So the only question is now: why should we keep you alive, Markwox?
Well, my first and foremost thought is that we had an arrangement.
That is fair, but I'm looking for more to stay my anger.
Yeah, we had an arrangement and you've gone and tried to like throw wrenches into it. So
I obeyed the letter of our arrangement.
No.
Rest of
You
my
obeyed the letter of the gas that was in fact in place at that time. The arrangement, you
was for
know,
me to give you the information in exchange for my safe passage to the portal.
and your safe passage relies on us being alive, right?
I believed you would be alive. I don't think that was in jeopardy. You underestimate yourselves.
You
I
still
think
not
you
answered the question.
I think you overestimate our patience.
Why should
Perhaps.
we keep you alive? That reason is not enough to stay my anger, I will admit. I'm mighty pissed off.
If you want to walk in here and attack me, that is your prerogative.
I have daggers I can throw.
I think we're wasting time at the moment. Could we
I agree. Let's make a
Maybe.
decision and go.
maybe we should get rid of the mind flayers on the spaceship first. We can figure out what to do with Marklox when we return.
Marklox, do you want these mind flayers dead?
Sure.
Answer me truthfully.
I could have them alive or dead.
I do think that Atrium just raised a good point. What are we meant to do with this mind flayer if we take him along? Why not just leave him here? We go and do our killing, because then we can take him to the portal when we get back. And we can leave him nice and safely contained in this cell.
Or
Bring me your squirrel.
Or if we all die, then he will crash into water deep and also die.
What was that, Alexis?
Bring me your squirrel.
Snaps his fingers and the squirrel appears.
Snap its neck.
Sure.
It is going to take you an hour to get your little spy back. Even if you do that. Husband's laughing again. Even if you do that, you are not to use this squirrel to sow discord. You are not to use a squirrel to pry into people's minds. Are we clear?
Crystal.
As a suggestion,
That is your warning.
as a suggestion, Zera, he is not to use the squirrel to communicate with someone, with any individual, in any form.
I mean,
Whether
I
that
can
be,
make it that strict if you want.
well, I'm just thinking, I don't think I'm actually communicating with the dragon. Just on the off chance, you know? I'd like my fur not singed.
All right. No using your scroll to communicate with dragons.
All
Okay,
right.
No using your
Well-
familiar in any form to communicate with dragons.
I was going to say I could just summon a
Familiar in
spider
any
instead.
form, not just squirrel.
Alright.
All those instructions go for any familiar of any form.
Oh, we've gotten so paranoid now compared to the start.
That's your warning.
We've-
All right.
We've lost gravity. Interesting.
Correct.
I just noticed.
Bullshit.
I was hovering here most of the time.
So,
And
Are you bringing-
spying through your squirrel's eyes. So anyway, are we leaving him? Are we going? What are we doing?
I think we should just leave him here.
guess we can keep him safe and tight here, and we can return to him afterwards and take him to the portal as we promised. I mean, unless there's a portal on the Mind Flayer ship, is there? That was a question mark, Ox. Is there a portal on
Oh.
the Mind Flayer ship?
Nat didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, my bad. I realised that. I just wanted to present that in
Yeah.
character.
I've not been aboard that particular ship. Probably not, though. That would be unlikely.
Then I'm sure you can agree that in our pursuit of keeping our promise of taking you to the teleportation portal, that requires the use of the one aboard Stardock. Now, because we have lost gravity here, our urgent objective at the moment is to get to the Mind Flayers. So I'm sure you can agree that the only way you're getting to a portal is on Stardock, and we need to return from the Mind Flayer ship to do that. I'm just talking in circles now.
Yeah, Mark Rock just kind of nods in a bit of a roundabout. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Basically, why don't you just wait here? Because we need to go to the Mind Flayer ship where there is no portal.
Gladly.
Very good. Dunk.
Great. Let's go.
So,
Door closes.
so I have left Lunara during this conversation. Lunara has snuck along, like in the shadows, up along like the ceiling, maybe,
Yeah,
just
sure.
to kind of. I can roll a stealth check for her if you want.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
Okay. What is a spider's stealth? Let me look that up.
I do not know.
My familiar on D&D Beyond.
It's D&D.
Stealth is +4. Okay, cool. So total of 19.
Cool. Yeah, Mark Rock doesn't seem to notice.
And yep. Just leaving her there for now. I can pop her out later. But
So
for the moment, I'm just putting a hand on Adrian and I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to hear you for a little bit. I just wanna keep an eye on our buddy for just a touch.
Understood.
And I'm gonna see if I can see through Lunara's eyes. Her many eyes.
Yeah. While you're heading back to Erlon.
Yeah. Just a hand on Adrian's shoulder since we're in Zero G.
Yeah.
just as a odd bit of flavor, since I've still got fly up and fives is low to waste it, he's basically flying along in backstroke.
Amazing.
That's delightful.
Although his arms aren't moving, it's his tail slowly turning as if it's a propeller.
So fives become tails.
Yes.
Silly.
Am I able to see through Lunara's eyes?
Yeah, totally.
Perfect.
Well, Croc sits there, closes his eyes, cross-legged, and after a minute, turns around in the air and hovers over to his little window he has, which has the bars over it. He looks down at the planet.
Doesn't seem to be doing anything else.
Not really.
And doesn't seem to be aware of the presence of the spider.
Hasn't looked at it or anything.
Okay. I come back out. I'm like, well, doesn't even seem to be trying to recast as familiar, so. Just might not have the components on him.
Perhaps.
Foiled by spell components.
You know?
All right, so you float along to the dock, and as you appear out there, you can see a flock of dread dragons. You know, about 5 of them. One of them being Ashtaranthor, and they're kind of in almost like kind of like a crow murder around something.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be a flock of dragons; it'd be a murder, or at least a business.
Maybe a blaze of dragons.
Yeah.
Ooh. Aren't they a wing? I thought they were a wing of dragons.
I don't know. Anyway, and after they're going at something in there for a little bit, and then Ashtaranthor winds her neck around and flings a
dog?
No, not bork.
Bork.
Flings one second. Oh yeah, right.
Menace is
and
a
you
good
see
one.
an Ezria down her arms and legs, flinging out into the void of space.
Oh. Drive another spiky, why don't you?
Got her eyeball. It's all right.
And as she gets outside of 120 feet from the from Stardock, atmosphere goes away, and the blood starts to pour out of her disembodied, dismembered limbs.
Oh god.
And in the distance, you can see her expand and pop.
Oh god.
George just looks at Zero, just like looks at her. Perhaps not a good way to die.
This was the better plan.
It was a plan. Look, I told you I'm not good at plans.
Could have just
believe
popped
Adrian-
This is why I don't travel alone a lot.
We should.
I'm good at some things. Plans is not one of them.
We should get to this ship so that we can get rid of our frustration through murdering of illithids.
Yes.
So out from the underside of the dock floats up Erlon and a couple guards. Says, "All right, well, seems." And at this point, you notice his armor has like some fancier gems embedded in them as well. The blame has been properly placed, and did we find a way to lower the force field?
We
Yep.
do.
Yes, we did
Excellent.
manage to get it out of the monthly.
What method was that?
Strong magics.
Yep.
Magics that we're able to perform?
Yes.
We are now.
Delightful.
Perhaps before we continue with our adventure, we may break for repast before sauntering into the unknown and danger. Also known as a short rest.
An
Can we spare an hour?
expedited rest. You're certainly welcome to. I don't think we'll be crashing into Toril within that time frame,
That's preferable.
isn't it?
Most definitely.
All right.
Well, I like in Waterdeep.
I mean, I don't think it's a great idea, but okay.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Pretty sure Jord needs his spell slots back.
Nope, I used 0 spells that combat.
Never mind.
But right now I don't have my my
X-Blade's curse.
X-Blade's curse, which I can bounce around a lot.
Is that a long or a short rest?
Short rest.
Oh, nice.
It's just really good.
I pretty
That's
much
really good.
I pretty much recharge every hour on the hour, and I'm good to go.
Hmm.
Yeah, I could do with a short rest, I think.
He gets inspiration back. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yep. We can
Because
take it. I'll get my one beast shape back that I spent.
I don't get anything back. I can
I'm on-
spend a hit die.
That's right.
I've-
You can.
I've only got a couple of spell slots left, so I need to get all my bardic inspiration so I can do the psychic blades, because that's going to be where my damage is for now.
Yeah.
Erlon says, "All right, you can head inside and take a rest. I'll arrange for your transportation. I guess you could just jump at it now, but like, less fun."
Transportation would be very good.
All right, so can Adrian, can you roll me a d20?
Sure. I also spent a hit die
Go right ahead.
for 7.
All right, your short rest is not interrupted.
Oh,
Oh,
beautiful.
okay. Great.
You
I
complete a short rest.
I will take part of that time to resummon Lunara as a bat.
So I think for that, don't you have to recast the spell?
It's a ritual, so I'll spend the components and ritually cast the so that Lunara is now a bat. And re-up on telepathic bond. And and if there's time, just for fun, I can identify something or cast detect magic.
I don't think there's anything we want to pull out of the bag of holding that isn't a body right now. So
That's
maybe
fair.
we could hold off on that identify in the middle of
I just
Get Senki Central.
so while we're sitting, I'll just cast detect magic just because. If there's
Why
time.
Just pull
It's
out
not a
the
bad
body.
thing to just have up.
That's true.
All right, so you finish your short rest.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go murder mind players.
Yeah.
So you meet Erlon back out on the dock, and standing there on the dock edge are 4 young red dragons, some of Ashtaranthar's brood.
All right.
All right. So we have our 4 dragons here. You get to choose your mounts. So here is Ashranthax. She's very well. She likes to get some sun. Then over here, next one line is Infernexus. Kind of a devil worship enthusiast. Doesn't practice, just interested. Then we have Meteoranzim. He's fun. Likes to really go for those sharp dives. But not like a point kind of gesture to the meteor. Maybe this is too sharp. And then we got Smokant.
Oh,
He's-
wait.
Smoke hands.
we make fun of one of the dragons. Like, yeah, we make fun of him because sometimes when he tries to breathe fire, just smoke comes out. It's hilarious.
Oh, buddy.
Are we dating these dragons or just writing?
Why not both? Just kidding.
Ooh, left turn.
I will take whatever one will take me.
So hearing that, was it Meteoranzim likes dives and things, Fives is immediately taking claim of them as his mount.
All right.
I like smoke can't. Buddy.
Buddy. All right. So we have Infernexus and Asheranthax.
Guess we'll take Ashtaranthax.
Sure.
Very
You
well.
guys like sun, I guess.
And that gives Jord the
The devil worshiper.
I was gonna say, it's either that or I take the double worshiping one, and I feel like
No, you know what? I think it makes sense for the warlock to be on the one that does devil worship.
also an Azamar.
Yes, I am also a child of the celestial beings. It is okay.
So,
Yeah, you could just pump him full of radiant damage if he gets out of line.
yeah. All right. So you fly off. Any words of encouragement before we assault a mind flayer ship in space riding dragons?
How long is it expected to take to fly there?
Like 12 seconds.
Okay, good. Fives take 10 minutes to use Inspiring Leader.
Yeah, during that
Sure.
short rest, that definitely works.
Yeah.
Do it kind of
you,
attractive to them.
what do you say?
So he'll do this
You don't have
telepathically.
to. Yeah, you don't have to
Sure.
literally say it, but you can be like, Fives talks about this.
Oh yeah.
Also, you could do it out. You might want to do it out loud, so you give it to the dragons too, or might not. Up to you.
Well, it does only 19 temporary hit points, but I want to keep that from the dragons, so it'd be
Yeah.
good a bond.
Oh.
And Fives is basically just talk about how it's a surprisingly morbid speech, basically of, I hope everyone has their affairs in orders because this is going to be a great story to tell if we all die here. The ballads that, and it goes on, like the ballads that will be sung, the drinks that will be drunk, and it's pretty morbid, if oddly inspiring.
All right, and Young gets 19 temp HP, except for Atrin, who still has his? Question mark?
no,
I
I
had
just put
mine
mine
still
up there.
too.
Yeah, I just put mine.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Besides, the inspiring leader hit points fade on short rests.
And
True.
I had mine knocked out
Yeah.
during last
Yeah.
fight.
All right. So you take off, rushing through the air. You strap yourselves in or just hold on tight to the dragon back because there's no gravity. So you're just kind of getting pulled along. And it's kind of intense. There's no atmosphere in this area as you can the air hitting your face, riding a dragon. And the nautiloid illithid ship is kind of doing little circles out in front of Stardock. And on seeing your approach, they turn to show you their broadside as you fly up. But their shield is still up and nothing flies out at you.
Can we make a judgment call about where 60 feet from the shell is?
Yeah, easy.
Okay, because I don't want to get too close so they can maybe counter.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind that they can't counter it while the shield's up. They need a clear path to the target.
Oh, I thought it was like a translucent dome.
Yeah, it's a wall of force, effectively.
So you can't counter through a wall of force?
Well, no, you can't. One of the generic spellcasting rules is you need a clear path to target.
That's true.
Yeah. Although you can Sacred Flame through a wall of force because that one says it doesn't apply to cover doesn't apply.
Yeah. All right. Zira because we can still talk even though we're hurtling through space on dragons.
Telepathic bond.
Yeah. Should I do this first or should you?
Well, that's a good question.
Perhaps I should since I won't be here next week.
Go ahead, try it. Have at it.
I will cast Disintegrate with the scroll on the dome.
All right, so is Disintegrate on the Warlock list?
It is not.
Okay, so I need you to make an Arcana check.
That's what I was afraid you were going to say.
Was there any inspiration into how well he was about to cast that?
Yeah.
19.
That's enough.
Never mind.
All right, you invoke your spell. The scroll burns up into a greenish purplish flame. It kind of smells of squid ink as a purple line of energy kind of splitting and reforming makes its way towards the field. And you see all the mind players on the ship look up at it and they kind of concerned is the word that comes to mind. And as it impacts the force field, it just from that point disintegrates away as it unpeels from the ship. And right at that moment, the dragons dive in, and we're going to have a little skill challenge for boarding the ship.
Hey.
Yeah. All right. So, way to do this is you can contribute in different ways. Generally, you can't use the same thing twice unless the circumstances have changed. And we don't do initiative. We just go down the order on the overlay. More successes over failures is best. And it doesn't need to be skills. It can be skills. It can also be like, I cast this spell or I tried to do this thing. You're pretty sure using the dragons to breathe fire on the ship is a good start. And that'll help. You're also quite certain that acrobatics to dodge fire and such way also apply. But you can make up anything that you can justify in your head. And Zira, you're first.
Okay. So am I able to cast guidance on Smokant and say, I believe in you. Smoke him out.
All right.
So try the fire.
Yeah. Can you roll me a D20 plus 6 and add your D4 for Smokant?
Sure. Plus 6, not a D6. Plus 6.
Yeah, plus 6. Okay. Yeah.
Oh. 27.
All right, so Smokant dives in and opens his maw, and a just roiling cloud of black smoke pours
Yeah.
over the ship as he goes over the front end. And actually, you rolled good enough that within that cloud, a burning bright flame inside, as a number of the mind flayers get roasted, and you can hear their psychic screams of anguish echoing through your mind. That is pretty good. All right,
Oh.
Adrian, you're next.
So we're how close?
What? Just tell me what you're trying to do. You can get in. You can dive in and out. You could run up, fly upside down over the top and smack a dude. Lots of things.
Well, that'd probably be a bad idea. I was thinking about just dimension dooring down onto the ship.
That's an answer.
Stuff, but I also don't want to get breathed on by like 3 dragons.
That's fair.
So, but I don't have any other better idea to do. So screw it. I'm going to dimension door down there.
Okay, you pat your dragon that you're a little uncomfortable riding anyway on the back, and you just vroom, and appear down on the ship in a place free of clouds of smoke, so that you know he's down there. And you at the back end of the ship is 2 mind flayers touching this glowing crystal, and that's thrumming with energy, and you think they're the ones moving the ship. So you appear back by them, and can you make me a round of attacks?
Yeah.
Sure. So that's going to be 2 attacks.
Yeah, and you can smite, do shit, whatever you would do.
Okay. So I've got, that's a 27 to hit.
Yes.
And then just a 12.
12 will miss.
Okay. So that is 15 slashing damage and 6 radiant damage because of improved Divine Smite.
All right. One of the mind flayers, you take your greatsword and just spew across its back, and it loses contact with the crystal, and it turns its squid head. It looks at you as you can see anger in its eyes. All right.
We need to kill these guys.
Yeah. Yep. 5s.
So I can get within 30 feet, I assume.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
If I can, I'm going to direct Meteoranzim over towards Atrian.
Yep.
Just to get in his general area. And as I'm flying down, 5s in a flourish is going to shout out to I assume the mind flayers can hear that there's a air bubble.
Yeah.
So he's going to shout out so they can hear. I call upon you from the depths of the 9 hells. Respond to my summoning in the form that I bound you to. And he's drawing a card from the deck of many things. And it's basically going to bluff like
Deck of illusions, right?
Okay.
I said the wrong thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I get overexcited. He's basically bluffing, and he's drawing from the deck of illusions.
All right.
I have a makeshift deck of illusions deck, so let's see.
I am looking at the table in my little thing.
So take a small cut of them, and not that one because it was turned over because of my bad shuffling. And that is the 9 of spades. 9
of spades. That is a troll. Down. And from the depths of hell, appearing in a plume of smoke that may or may not have come out of Smokant's mouth, this troll with fiery red eyes, Smokan, steps forward and at the mind flayers at the helm.
And I try to position it so it's standing next to or slightly by Anthrim obviously being an ally of him. And it's just
Sure.
it's a troll. Just beating it's basically, as you said, rolling.
Got it. Jord.
So as we're approaching the ship, and we're broadsiding it right now, and they're
Yeah.
near the back.
Yep.
Is there a clear line of essentially just like a bunch of illithids like kind of congregated together somewhere?
What you thinking doing?
So either having my dragon breathe on them or casting a AOE spell.
You can do both if you want.
All right. Like if I can get two groups, like breathe fire on one group and cast a spell on the other group.
You swoop by, breathe fire on one, turn around, and blow up another group. Just.
So I'm gonna burn a sickening radiance.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh my God, yes.
All right. As you're approaching, though, I do need you to make me a dexterity save as they shoot a bolt of something at you.
Oh no.
If it's a roll. No, you said save, so I don't get. Oh.
You can do it, Jordy.
That's a 10.
Okay. You get hit by a bolt that electrifies through your body.
Ouchies.
And you take 27 lightning damage.
Okay, by temporary hit points.
and your increased hit points from from the feast.
Yeah, that's permanently on here.
Yep, that helps.
All right. So, but then you get to breathe the dragon fire and drop sickening radiance, and between the smoke and the fire and the more fire and the radiance, the board of the ship, the deck, that's the word, is in chaos. You're at this point, you think you're able to land safely.
Cool.
Get in there and wreck up the place.
Yeah. Zira.
Ooh. Okay. So there seems to be some sort of device that controls the ship.
Yeah, there's a couple of mind flayers that are at this thrumming crystal that seems to move the ship. One of them has been distracted by Atrian.
Does it seem to be does the crystal seem to be attached to the ship, or is it kind of just hovering?
It's attached in through like a anchor. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this. When you get close to the ship has its own gravity, so you do just like down properly. You're not just floating above a ship.
All right. Well, what can I do to that? Oh, that could be fun. I guess we'll just do another smoke can. You can do we'll do another flyby, and I will cast Thunderwave at that area with the crystal.
Yeah.
Along with smoke can being.
Okay. So, can you roll me a d6?
D6. 3.
So, Smoke Can did not recharge his breath attack.
Oh, right. Okay.
Back to Smoke Can.
Well, you can make some sort of claw attacks or something.
Yeah,
yes?
you could straight down and like try to grab the other one that's focusing on the crystal, just full on.
Yeah, and I also want to try to if Smoke Can misses, or if Smoke Can doesn't, still do the Thunder Wave in case I can damage that crystal at all.
Sure. So make me a athletics check for a young red dragon. That is a +6.
Okay. I'll roll a red die for him. Oh, okay. 11 on the die. So that's a total of 17.
All right. Well, the Mind Flayer rolled a 17 too.
Oh.
Has a -1 to strength? Yeah. So,
all right. And
then you boom, eliminating the remaining Mind Flayer in the crystal.
Yep, Thunder Wave, 10 damage.
Okay, as the crystal rocks in place and gets a few cracks through it, and the other Mind Flayer by Atrian gets pushed back.
All right.
All right. Atrian.
So are we still, let's see. I just
kind of semi-transitioning into combat with this Mind Flayer.
The other Mind Flayer, the one that I attacked, is just pushed back, right? It's not dead. Can I
but it's away from the crystal. No one is attending the crystal anymore, and it kind of gets this deadened look to it, and the ship stops moving. It's just drifting.
Can I touch the crystal?
Yeah, you can walk up and touch the crystal.
I don't know what this does.
As you touch the crystal, you feel these ridges on it, and how much experience does Adrian have with Mind Flayers?
I mean, he's fought a handful of them, but definitely never like a hive.
You've probably run into Qualith before. It is the Braille-like language that Mind Flayers commit knowledge to permanent form with, and it is magically imbued. So as you run your hands across it, you are imbued with this magical understanding of how to run this crystal. However, you also take 46 psychic damage.
Oh, I know Kung Fu.
Basically. So you take 14 psychic.
14.
Little blood out of the ear.
Yeah, just a little like nose and ear, but you're like, I know how to move this thing. To move it, you have to make either a charisma or intelligence check.
We're gonna go with charisma.
I kind of guessed.
So just dice plus my charisma modifier, and that's it.
Yep.
Okay.
What do you want to make it do?
I want to make it just, I guess just like
self-destruct.
I mean,
right?
Yeah. So, like, you could make it crash into Stardock. You could make it fly out of the air envelope.
Yeah, I'd like to make it. I think. I mean, we're trying to help the Githyanki, right? So, could I try to get it to go into Stardock, like the actual dock?
Yeah, you can move it towards that. That's probably a more longitudinal choice. You know, something that would take multiple uses.
Okay. I think that's probably what he would try to do with it because, you know, being on it, I don't think crashing it would be a great idea.
That's fair.
So my first check is a 20 total.
Yeah. The ship takes a sharp right and starts to fly over. And it's now kind of abreast Stardock, and a number of the posts inside there. Githyanki start to shoot out arrows and spells out the windows to shoot the broadside of the ship.
This was a terrible plan. Why did I do this?
Yeah. And I need everyone over there to make a dex save against Githyanki friendly fire.
Oh, great.
Everyone on the ship or all of us?
Everyone on the ship or circling the ship.
Yeah, that's a 6.
If you are near me, you get a +4.
So that'd be if you're on the ship, which I don't think anyone is.
Hey, I got 20 again, exactly.
I got 15.
18.
Yep, and Jord?
6.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, no.
All right.
That means I probably have to make Constitution saving throw. Which I have advantage on.
You take 10 necrotic damage.
Oof. And I make my con save to keep up sickening radiance.
Nice.
Hey, at least you're resistant necrotic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm assuming you didn't have that necrotic damage, right? That was...
No, that was pre-half, so you take 5. So at this point, the dragons are looking at what Atrian's doing and are like, that's a good idea. We should protect it. We should protect the man moving the boat.
Is it Fives up next?
Yes.
Yes. So in that train of thought, he's drawing another card, and he's going to start trying to make a wall of monsters, basically, to kind of intimidate the mind flayers who might come.
Sure. Give me your card.
So let's shuffle.
I love it.
And you
Let's
removed the
roll.
9 of spades.
Yep, this is the King of Spades.
That's a priest and 2 acolytes. So your wall is getting
Oh.
some extra shit. So there's like a troll and then a priest and a couple acolytes, and they're just like making a protective circle around Adrian.
Let's see.
Genius.
Can we use an actions? Okay, no. That's what I can do. It's basically act normal, but I can't make them do an action. So
Sure.
as a bonus action, as we're flying by, Fives is just going to shout down to Atrium, "Don't fail here!" and give him a bardic inspiration.
Thanks,
Don't
buddy.
fail here.
Don't fuck
Maybe
up.
somewhere else, but not here.
Right.
Yep. Basically,
Uh,
he's not the most inspiring or conventionally inspiring.
Take
yeah.
half an inspiration.
All right.
But yeah, that's everything. Unless
Jord,
Mhm.
what you want to do?
Meteorizan. Can Meteorizan breathe independently of me?
Yeah, the dragon can sow some more discord on the deck, but it's basically already crazy.
Okay, fair enough.
So at this point, I guess our job is just to keep murdering Illithid, right?
Yeah, / protect Atrian.
Yeah. So I'll tell the dragon, do what you can to protect Adrian, and I'll jump off and just start murdering Illithid.
Superhero landing.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
So yeah, I'll just move from Illithid to Illithid and just hit them with my
Sure.
Dark
Do
Blossom.
you want to start with the one that was near Atrian?
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's a 29 to hit.
Yes. Level 14 characters just don't care. AC, what's that?
That's gonna be max damage. So that's 5. So that's 18 damage.
Yeah.
A mixture of necrotic and regular damage.
Yep. As you slash into that, Mind Flayer winces but is still up.
Aw. That's no fun. So I guess
I'm
do it
sorry.
again. That's less to hit. That's 28.
It still hits. I thought you were gonna say like 18 or something.
Less to hit. 28.
It's 1 by 1. No. So that's 14 blood piercing damage. Still alive, I assume.
And isn't some necrotic too?
That's total. So it's 14 piercing and necrotic.
Okay.
I assume they're not resistant to
That one beheads the Mind Flayer. His little squid head goes off into space.
Cool. That's all I got.
All right. At this point, a small crowd of Mind Flayers, so they come up the stairs to where the crystal is, and they're going to think at Jord and Atrian each twice. So I need you each to make 2 intelligence saves.
Oh no.
Wow.
Any chance are they intimidated by the growing wall of enemies?
Get a +4.
They are those are AOE effects. They actually would affect the illusions as well, but they're
Illusions.
and Jord, you're in Atrian's aura, so you get a +4.
Good.
I got a 19.
That's enough.
And then a 7.
I got an 11.
Okay.
And hey, that's a 23.
Atrian has inspiration.
I don't think that it would. I mean, I already said 7, so I know that's going to fail.
All right. So what were your 2 ones, Jord?
11 and 23.
Okay, so both of you fail against one, save against the other. So each of you takes
Oh no.
33 psychic damage and are stunned.
Balls.
Is that with each of them being one of them being halved and everything?
That was actually they actually don't have a half damage. That was just one.
Oh.
Yeah, my players are mean.
I mean, I'm gonna say they rolled 4d8. 2 of them were 8s. There was a 7 and a 6,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
and then they have a static on top of that.
Good
And
grief.
is it stunned for
1 round.
1 round? Okay, that's what I thought, but I couldn't remember. Oh, that hurt.
All right. So Zira and Fives, you see these two kind of get locked up a little bit, and the ship stops its movement as it's kind of it's now slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
Come to slowing down, yeah.
So,
And
how
it is-
tightly bunched? Sorry, just to get.
yeah.
How tightly bunched are these mind flayers?
So 2 of them came up the staircases opposite. They look wounded from all the AoE bullshit.
Okay.
But they're probably about 20 feet apart.
Okay. Sorry, I was just looking through my options. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. Zira.
I would like to get close, and I only need to get within 120 feet of where those mind flayers are now, and I would like to cast Tidal Wave at them.
Sure. That's a strength save?
It actually says a Dex save throw.
Okay.
Oddly
can see
enough,
that
I don't
too.
know why it's Dex.
I guess you're
Strength
dodging the
makes
tidal
more
wave.
sense,
Dive!
but okay.
All right. So that is an 8.
Nope.
Oh, they have magic resistance against reroll. And a 9. And then that is a 4.
Nope.
And an 8. So yeah,
Nope.
they both get launched straight off the edge of the boat.
That's right. And they take.
Damage.
This is fun. Oh, 8, 16, 19 points of damage.
So one of
Bludgeoning.
them gets wounded and launched off. The other one gets launched straight into the railing of the ship, and you hear its back crack, and it just doesn't move.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens when you try to eat my friends.
You roll me a d6?
Yes. I'll roll a red one this time. It's a 5.
So Smoke Can't does get breath back.
Smoke can.
Smoke Can. All
So
right.
I guess if Smoke Hand has targets, then Smoke Hand should use its breath. Otherwise, hold on to it.
And then Atrian is stunned, and it is 5s.
Oh, bonus action, a healing word. No, bonus
Sure.
action. I will use my
Balm of the Summer Court thing.
yes, that. So I will throw 2d6 at Atrian. Ooh, 11.
Thanks.
You are welcome.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
stunned, so it's more like.
Uh,
Yeah.
5s. The
So,
ship is coming to stop because no one is moving it. It is your turn.
Fides is going to direct Meteorism, or whatever the dragon's name is, to hover
All right.
above Atrium and Jord.
Yep.
And he's going to reach into one of the pouches on his belt and pull out 3 nut shells. And it's going to hold his action until illithid mind flayers come up on top.
Sure.
So as soon as he sees a group of them,
Are you readying a spell?
yes.
Oh yeah, what spell? Because with readying a spell, you actually cast it and then hold it
Oh,
for readying.
in that case, the nut shells start to dissolve in his hands as he casts confusion and holds it.
Got it. They're gonna lose their marbles.
Oh
Mhm.
no.
Hopefully.
That's the dream. All right.
They just start
Uh,
trying to face
Nord,
hug each other.
Nord is stunned, and then another 3 mind flayers come up the left side, wounded, and that will trigger your spell.
I need a wisdom saving throw from each of them.
Gotcha. They're kind of good at that. That is a 10
That's a fail.
and a 20
That succeeds.
and a 10.
That fails. So 2 of them can't take reactions and must roll a d10 at the start of their turns to determine its behavior.
So at this point, those two like stop dead in their tracks, and one of them looks at its hand like,
Mhm. On their turns, though, I need a d10 roll from each of them because it has an
yes.
effect.
So first one's a 1, second one's a 8.
So the first one, the creature uses all of its movement to move in a random direction, rolling a d8 to decide it. It can't take
Okay.
an action after that.
So that one, so I rolled a d8 into my mind picture, and that one turns around and runs right back down into the smoke and fire.
The second one, did you say you rolled an 8?
Yeah.
The second one uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature in its reach. If there is no creature, it does nothing.
So as the other one turns around to head back, it turns to the only one that didn't fail, and just is going to tentacle its mind flayer buddy.
I called it. They try to
That's
face
a
hug
natural
each other
20.
to death. Oh my god, yes!
With all of this, Fives is just cackling.
So that's 4d10 plus 4 psychic damage. Why don't you roll that for me?
4d10. Where are my d10s?
Plus 4.
Confusion is such a strong spell.
17, 24, 34 points of psychic damage.
So it does 34 points psychic damage, and then that one needs to make an intelligence save, which is an 11. So it fails. So that one is stunned until the grapple ends.
So basically, they all lose their turn.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Fives is just cackling.
All right. Zira.
Oh my god. I don't even know after that. So I just see these two kind of locked in a face hug, right?
Yes.
Okay. This is insane. I'm a little confused as what to do myself. What else exactly is happening on the ship? Anything like it's on
Honestly?
fire?
So the top end of the ship, it's is crazy and shit. And you're actually noticing that the number of illithids still in that clusterfuck is actually very low. You think that either they've all died, kind of unlikely, or they decided to stop going up top to get breathed on by dragons.
I would like to see where else I could maybe be doing some attacking. Where else they might be congregated.
Yeah.
Is
You could
there
definitely.
another place we could be attacking?
So there are 3 of them still on top of the deck, albeit beaten and wary. The one of them is which is got confusion and ran back, and then one's being hugged and the other one confusedly hugging it. There is a kind of sphincter apparatus, because this is kind of a living craft that is on the deck that is currently closed tight, but that seems to be a point of ingress. Besides that, you could activate the crystal to try to move the ship.
Okay. I will just tell Smokehan that Smokehan and say, just keep blasting at anything that comes through that or, endangers us. And I would like to cast Freedom of Movement on Atrian to start with.
So you're gonna jump down, tell Smoke that he can jump down and help Atrian.
Yep.
With
Thanks.
freedom.
Freedom of movement. Yep. Can't be paralyzed now. Which is good.
I'm stunned. I don't think that does anything for that, right? But,
right. No, not this. Not at this juncture, no.
You're not stunned anymore. That already went through your round of stun.
Okay.
But they can't paralyze you now, which is good.
Yeah. Or grapple you. Actually, that's pretty relevant.
Correct. They can't grapple you, paralyze you, all that
Yeah,
stuff. It's
that's-
important when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Adrian, your turn.
Okay.
Still have your hand on the crystal.
Sorry, bonus action. I wanted to give 2 more d6 of my bombs to Bird, how you looking?
Jordan is less well than he was.
Is
All right.
yellow on the
You get 8.
And then you use 2 dice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 2 attempts. Thank you.
You are welcome.
So I've got the sphere thing in front of me, but there's also some mind flayers, right?
Yes, they are incapacitated.
Right, but they're like, yeah, face hugging each other. I will try to do the thing again.
Okay.
I got a 22.
Oh, you're just rolling hot
Hey.
on this thing. You pull the ship over the Stardock, and Ash Taranthor rises up over at the ship as you're going, and just breathes her ancient dragon breath over the part of the deck that you're not on, and by the time it clears, the force of it has wiped away the smoke and everything living on it. As that leaves just the 3 of you on the ship deck. And you pull the ship down into the dock.
Okay.
And right about then, a force field starts to rise up, encompassing the ship from the bottom up. And as that happens, Jord, Infernexus is like shit, and grabs you with his tail wrapped around you and just flings you down onto the ship.
You mean 5, right? Because I'm already on the ship.
Yes, right. My bad.
Okay, so I'm going down onto the ship.
5. Yeah, Meteor ends him. Dives on past and rolls you off of him to deposit you onto the ship.
Okay.
And as this force field seals up on the top of the ship, that's where we're gonna cut for our session.
Okay then.
Hey!
Oh God, we didn't die to an ancient red dragon.
We could have taken her.
Yet.
There's still also, yeah,
Still time.
still plenty of
That's
time
true.
for that to happen.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you could just die to the ancient red dragon. I know what you should do. You should provoke the ancient red dragon, all 5 of its remaining children, and the Illithid Lich all at once.
Yeah, that
Sounds
seems like
perfect.
we should do that.
There's an Illithid Lich?
Oh, sorry, did
Illithid Lich?
What? What?
I
What?
mean,
Yeah.
This can only go well.
correct.
We're fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine. How are you?
Yeah.
All right, so that was a fun session. Why don't we run through who we are and, if you want, where we can find you on the internet? Why don't we start with Alexis?
Hey, I'm Alexis, and I am part of Dice Priori. We have some awesome stuff happening every week. We just launched Dragon Heisters, which is a stream that happens every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Central Time, and it is the Dragon Heist module, and we are in the season of summer. And so we just premiered that this past week. Catch episode 2. We are level 1, and some shit's about to go down. It's great. Wednesdays we played The Ghost in the Machine at 7 p.m. Central, but this coming Wednesday we are taking a little break and we are venturing into the world of Magic the Gathering, and we are playing a little one shot. And I will be a very goth mermaid druid, so
Fun.
Yes.
Fun.
I'm gonna do mermaid makeup and everything. It's gonna be fun.
Ooh.
So catch that 7 p.m. Central this Wednesday, and I'm also doing some crafting stuff there. So that's where you can find us. That's what you can see us do. It's a lot of fun. And also follow Dice Prairie on Twitter. join our Discord. Oh, and all of us on Twitter individually. We're all great people.
Yeah. Sir Girls.
Hi, I'm Zach. My Twitter handle has been alternating with my character name on the overlay, so you can find me there at Circles. You can find me here again next week to see if we do in fact die or not to Red Dragons and/or Mind Flayers and an Little Lich, maybe. I don't have any of my own streaming stuff right now, but I'm working on maybe that being a thing that happens sometime in the future. So right now, the best place to find me is on Twitter.
All right. And Sam.
Okay, I'm Sam. I can be found on Twitter as Eldritch Warlock. Although, fair warning to anyone who does look me up on Twitter, I'm not exactly the best at being active on it, so I'm pretty quiet. I can be found occasionally on, well, I can be found here next week, obviously, but I can also be found occasionally on the RPG Lab, where when it can be done, I appear on a Monday show as Sayescus, the UNT Warlock. And I also, to begin dipping my toes into DMing, I've started to run the odd one shot over on the RPG Lab on Saturdays. So every now and then you can see this new BDM completely butcher the game and try and keep things working.
Nice.
Okay, I butcher the game every time I play. It's part of the fun.
That's right.
That makes me feel a tiny bit better then.
Rule of cool.
All right, and Adam.
I'm Adam. I am at Adam_J_Pearson on the Twitters. I live on the internet there. You can come talk to me about D&Ds. Unfortunately, I will not be able to complete this adventure with my fellow friends because of weird travel things that happened. It's fine. But I usually stream with Geeky Bugbear on Tuesdays from 8 till 10-ish Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we go a little bit longer. We're currently in Tome of Annihilation, where we are definitely murdering lots of goblins.
Fun. And I am Nat. You can find me on Twitter at CrimeNat. It's been rotating on the overlay. Hey, the overlay, my actual name doesn't show up. I'm Nat. Words. Yeah, I'm Tuesday Demo there. I tweet a lot of D&D stuff. I have lots of fun. I play this game a lot and I love it. You can find me here next week for this usual time as we continue our adventures into Dungeons of the Mad Mage on Variant Roles. You can also find me Mondays on Encounter Roleplay at 5 Eastern Time for Ravnica Unleashed / Learn to Play / Ravnica the Unknown District. Our branding's a little messed up. Don't at me.
Don't at me.
And you can also find me Wednesdays over on the Phantom Roll Booth at 7:30 Eastern Time for Dungeons and Deductibles, where I play a delightfully self-conscious and low self-esteemed hobgoblin named Mork, and we are insurance adjusters, and we have lots of fun.
Nice.
So yeah. And I'd like to also shout out to Obnoxion, or that's his Twitter handle, who's running tech today. He's been lovely. And of course, Dan Gaston, who organizes all of Variant Role stuff constantly. He's amazing. They're both amazing. And we will be searching for one more person to join our Intrepid band for next week that we put out in the Variant Roles Discord soon. So if you're interested, come on. You know what time the availability is. And that's us. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.